What is up, YouTube? This is your boy Gamer720, and welcome back. Welcome back to the Real Talk with the Real Gamer Show. We got some hot topics to talk about tonight, and this first topic is going to be very, very touchy. If you don't want to be here, please come back within 30 to 45 minutes if you do not want to hear about the race talk in America. And we got to discuss this. Even though this is a gaming channel, but majority of us in this podcast is, African American or black. We got a white guy, but we gonna call him, he's gonna be our honorary black guy for tonight. Ain't that right, Nick?
Right.
So anyway, yes, man. Like I said, man, it's a lot of discussion. We got to talk about this matter, man. As majority of us are black, I'm pretty sure we experienced some racism with police officers before, in which I did. Like I said, depends. What's up? Majority of us are black. I'm pretty sure we experienced racism with officers before, in which I did. Who was that? No, that's somebody else.
Somebody on the YouTube.
Yeah, okay, that's somebody else. So that's fine. That's fine. But like I was saying, man, we got a lot of shit we got to talk about. We'll talk about this matter in America that we're going through right now. Then we're gonna switch to some gaming topics. Talk about some Nintendo losing their identities. Then we're gonna talk about some Microsoft really end on a bang. But of course, the most talked about issues that's what's going on in America right now. It's pretty sad. It's really sad that we still hadn't learned nothing, from the past. All this bullshit that's been going on. This whole entire Black Lives Matter. Who doesn't matter to us? I don't really support that movement. I understand what they're coming from, but this shit is never going to get fixed unless Black Lives Matter towards black folks, and that's something that we need to fix ourselves. Whenever we can actually come together and be more united, then that's when we can actually do something. But as far as us still being segregated, all these black-on-black crimes at its all-time worst, at its all-time high, shit is still going to be the same. So, what's the point of protesting? We tried with Sandra Bland, we tried with Trayvon Martin, we tried with who else? Eric Gardner. It's a lot of shit. Or Mike Brown's a lot of shit that has been going on these past few years, but still nothing happened. Like there was no progress. Like it's the same shit. And since social media is basically very, very popular right now, everybody got smartphones, tablets. Everybody has a video camcorder. So everybody got their phone, so they could just video record anything. So this is why a lot of these cops is getting exposed. It ain't just cops, just America, period, getting exposed over the stupidity, over the stuff that a lot of African Americans has been complaining for over 10, 20, 30 years. Like the shit that we've been complaining about, like they keep throwing that shit out the door because they did not believe us, and now it's out there. Cat's out the bag, and with the video evidence on a lot of this shit that's been going on, they still throw it out the window because they still don't care. Like shit like this, it's got me scratching my head, and this got me to want to. I got to teach my son better. I got to teach my son whenever he grows up, he got to know what to do when he get into situations like that. Whenever he gets pulled over, because everybody is going to get pulled over. So I just don't want nothing to happen to my son. I'm pretty sure my family don't want nothing to happen to me. So it's just a lot of issue that's been going on. Like this dude in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, he didn't deserve to die. Come on, 2 officers. One black guy, 2 officers. He wasn't really resisting arrest. Got shot 6 times in the chest. So they did not try to shoot him in the leg, shoot him in the shoulder to slow him down. They didn't tase him. He shot him in the chest. He shot him dead. So his intent was to kill him. And I was watching all these videos yesterday, and all of a sudden, I was about to watch my last video before I go to sleep, and all of a sudden, I saw another shooting in Minnesota. Like, I was like, what the fuck is going on? So there was a fucking another live stream shooting on Facebook. And I was like, what is going on? We just had an issue the day before, so what the fuck is going on with America? Like, this shit right here doesn't, like I said, it doesn't freaking surprise me, because all this shit is coming to the light. All that shit, all these years that all these cops keep fucking throwing all this shit under the rugs, sprinkling drugs and guns on dead black people, unarmed black people. They fucking plant, that shit always happen, plant drugs, plant weapons, that shit is always going on. But now, since everybody has smartphones, they have to really be careful on what they do, and they still get away with it. So this is why we are having this discussion today. let's go ahead and get our introductions out the way so we're going to get into this subject. Let's go and start with you, Gamer Nick.
This is Nick from Gamertag Incorporated, and please don't blame me.
All right, let's go and go to Jay.
What's up, everybody? This is Jay Dauntless, the protagonist gamer here. Excited, very excited to be doing this podcast.
I know you are, brother. All right, let's go and go to Mr. King Ramsey.
Hey, what's going on, y'all? This is King Ramsey. Some of you all may know me as Chatting with C4. That's my other identity. But yeah, I'm just here to, spit that real today.
Already. All right. All right, let's go and go to Mr. Old Dirty.
What's going on, YouTube? It's your boy Dirty, a.k.a. DB Dirty Beats.
All right, appreciate you for joining, man. Let's go. I'm gonna go with you, Mr. Hunnit.
What's up with y'all? Just your boy 100 from Intro Media Gaming. Just, happen to hang out with my brothers. It's been a couple of weeks.
All right, appreciate you, man. And last not least, it's gonna go to you, Mr. Retro Bro.
What's up, YouTube? Retro Bro here. Got a lot of interesting things to talk about. A little touchy, but hey, it has to be talked about.
Yes, it does, man. Yeah, you are correct. First of all, before we go and get to the topics, I want to let y'all know in the chat, like, if there's going to be a lot of racist shit in the chat, I will delete you or ban you. This is not no war on white people, just to let you know. We are not racist. I don't have a racist bone in my body. I have a lot of friends that's either white, Asian. My best friend is Hispanic. He's my brother. So I don't play that race shit. I don't. But the shit that's what's going on with my people has to get talked about. Whether you're white, black, pink, yellow, whatever. I know some of y'all, one of my long-time subscribers, I know some of y'all don't like the direction my channel is going, but as me, as a black man, if I see something that needs to get talked about, I'm going to talk about it. Like, my life evolves more than just video games, man. I'm a black man, and being a black man in America, according to a lot of Americans, we are endangered. Like, we are thugs and criminals, and we got to fucking talk about this shit, man. And with all this shit that's been going on these past few days, man, it's sickening, man. This shit is sickening. Got me to be disgusted with this country that I live in. This is supposed to be the best country in the world, but it's not really. But according to black folks, of course, it's not the best country in the world because we are second. No. We are third-class citizens in the country that we supposed to be living in. The Second Amendment rights. We can bear arms, but shit like this that happened yesterday, that wasn't the case. The guy had a concealed, handgun license, and he still got shot to death. He got shot multiple times. He didn't get shot one time. He didn't get shot 2 times. He didn't get shot 3 times. He got shot 4 or 5 times. So come on, man. You cannot tell me that this shit. You cannot tell me that this shit. We have to discuss this shit. We have to discuss this shit. And this shit has gone too far, man. What's going on with you, Nxtgen?
What's going on? What's going on, fellas? How you guys feeling today?
What up?
Hey, it's your boy Nxtgen720, aka the Granny Level. What you fine men in here talking about today?
Oh shit. All right, since we got quite a few of us in here, let's go and get down into this topic, man. Let's go and start with you. Actually, Nick, you are first on my list, but do you want to start first? I don't want you to get too uncomfortable.
I'll just let you guys have this one.
All right, Jay, let's go and start with you, man. How do you feel about these this ongoing events that happened these past couple of days, man?
Man, it's been daunting, man. Like even right now, while my mom's at church, I'm worried. Like, I know if a cop fuck with her, I'm gonna end up fucking with that cop as best as I can. Like, I'm now worried for my own safety of my family, for my friends, and like you go on Facebook, everybody's putting out messages saying be safe out there. And I was talking to some of the people out there, and we was all saying what's gonna happen one day when somebody starts killing the cops to protect themselves from the cops from killing them. And we all know that's going to happen one day. It's going to get caught on camera. How is this government going to handle it when a person ends up killing a cop before the cops try to kill them? I hate what's happening. I did watch the video with the Falcon Heights, and that was just crazy how they made that woman sit in that car next to her dead boyfriend. That was crazy how they took her cell phone. If nobody shared that video, like she said in an interview, that they would have straight up corrupted that information to make sure it didn't get out there. I'm glad that she put that information out there. I'm glad that people were standing up. I'm glad that people are getting tired of it. I know that other countries may have it worse, but regardless of the fact, people are tired of these times, because as technology progresses, why can't we progress along and advance and get rid of this old shit as well? Like, the way technology changes is we get rid of the old and we have something new. I don't understand why a lot of people can't change their mentality. I don't understand why some people are still buying into the hype of hating thy neighbor when they have no idea who the fuck they are just because of the color of their skin, their race. I mean, it doesn't matter. It's times like these are getting old, and to be honest with you, in my opinion, it's just my thoughts, but I'm ready to see a cop get sentenced, and I'm ready to see his ass get fried on that electric chair. We need to, seriously, a life for a life. A life for a life. I don't care no more about the value of the life. Whenever I hear a cop dies, I know that they're good cops out there, but because they have such a bad reputation against them, why do I even give a fuck? I keep telling you guys all the time, when I see, every time I look at a dollar bill, I look at the Embro, in God we trust, I say it all the time, that's not my God. But they'll wear it proudly and say, well, in God we trust. And what God do we know of tells you guys to kill each other over this kind of stuff? I did watch the speech from BT with Jesse, and that was real talk what he did. And after he did that, it went viral. Like, everybody, hey, if something happened to him, we know for a fact, because he's being punished because of what he did, because we know who's really running the industries out there. All this race, all this killing, the shit's getting old. And if it doesn't stop soon, I know that there will be a civil war. They can call in the military, this, that, and the third. It don't matter, because when we're fighting each other, other countries going to gladly knock on the back door and fuck us up, because all the shit that we don't even know what our country's doing behind our back. So I hope that things do change. I hope that things do get better. And I hope that a lot of people wake up and realize that there is a system designed out there to depict us, to make sure that we stay divided, to make sure that we stay hitting one another, to make sure that every time we see a Muslim man, this man is a terrorist. You see it all the time. This is what they try to implant in our head. And only the wise and the mature catch on to it. And I hope that a lot of other people will catch on to it before it's too late. But if it is inevitable, then fuck it, let's ride.
Damn.
That's all I gotta say.
All right, that's all you gotta say. All right, Nxtgen720 is up. Let's go and get your input on this, man.
My input on what these senseless killings.
Yeah.
Damn, what can I say, man? That hasn't, you know what? That's the problem. It's what's being said now, and nothing's being done. Fuck all that marching and singing. We shall. This shit don't do nothing.
It does.
The only thing that's gonna stop this shit here is the God's honest truth. Is you look back when they were protesting or marching about Rosa Parks sitting in front of them motherfuckers, them racist white motherfuckers didn't give a fuck about that, man. They only started to care when it affected the status quo, their dollars, when they start riding the bus. You know what I mean? So if we really, really want something to change, and I don't want to make it a black thing, a white thing. I'm just gonna say it's a people thing. It's apparent because it's more black people there right now. They're being done down and all, but it happens to white people also. You know what I mean? But what's gonna have to happen is that because just being real, black people, we've been taught and we've been raised to wear our wealth on our backs. Get the latest Jordans or to keep up with the trends. And we wear our wealth. Where you can see a white person or whatever, and I'm not trying to make it a black-white thing, is that when you might see them with some fucked up sneakers, you laugh at them, but they got about $20,000 in the bank. You know what I mean? We've been taught and we've been schooled to wear our wealth on our backs, but like I said, men lie, women lie, numbers don't lie. Us black people, we are the biggest contributors to this economy, whether it's music, fashion, movies, everything. We are the biggest consumers of everything, and we don't own anything. You know what I mean? We don't own nothing. We contribute trillions of fucking dollars to this economy, and we don't own a fucking thing. You know what I mean? We quick to go out there and buy these Nikes and these Jordans. Jordan don't even give a fuck about us, but we spend all our monies on all these fucking brands, and we don't anything. So when if we can't get any justice, you know what's happened? When Christmas come around, nobody go out for shopping for black. If you're sick of this injustice shit that's going on with these cops killing unarmed people, you know what? Christmas we can't. If these cops we're watching, if you're not going to sentence them accordingly, you know what I mean? It don't take 4 or 5 days for you to. If I shoot somebody there, gun their ass down, they ain't gonna wait for a grand jury. They gonna lock my black ass up right there and then. You know what I mean? And if we're not going to get any justice that way, you know what? Every black person, not even black, everyone fucking in America, if you're sick of this shit, nobody go out for Black Friday. Nobody fucking go out no Christmas shopping. You understand what I'm saying? That right there, when you will start affecting motherfuckers' cash flow, the economy, that's when we will get a change. You know what? Now fuck that. And I'm not to say that all cops are bad. I'm not saying that because you do have good cops. The problem is, but when these when these bad cops do something, you good cops don't say shit. You know what I mean? You got to start holding them accountable. Why? Because they making you motherfuckers look bad. You know what I mean? Did I shed a tear when those 2 motherfucking cops got gunned down in New York? No, I fucking didn't. You know why? Because it's only, and I'm not saying, it's sad to say, they probably, no, I'm not saying, 'cause one guy, he did, a couple people spoke, he had a couple things, one citation for excessive force, broke a girl hip or some shit like that. But again, I'm not saying that it's right, but it's only so much that the people can take before they start lashing the fuck out. You know what I mean? And doing, you know what I mean? Because when are we going to get our fucking justice? You just had Freddie Gray, right? That motherfucker, they broke his back and all that. How you get locked up, you get your back broke, and you fucking die, and nobody gets found guilty? You understand what I'm saying? How do you have a motherfucker where it's illegal to use a chokehold in the fucking state of New York, right? Cops are not supposed to do it. And if you choke a man to death, nobody fucking gets found guilty. A man for selling fucking cigarettes, but here you can have a young white male rape a woman that's unconscious, get 6 months in jail, man. You know what I mean? So how am I supposed to feel as a black man? It's being real. You have these laws that are supposed to be here to protect our rights, right? But these laws are not for us. It's being real. We just had 4th of July, right? And I think any black motherfucker that go out there and celebrate the 4th of July, you're fucking foolish because we fought in that war, and after that, that wasn't for our freedom and our independence, and after that, we still was fucking slaves. You understand what I'm saying? So, am I shocked? No, because we're abiding by these laws and all this shit that wasn't meant to protect us. You see all these motherfuckers. I'm gonna shut the fuck up here. Whatever amendment right is for you to carry your arms, right? The NRA, and they always talk about, they try to take away our Second Amendment, right? Or whatever amendment right it is to bear arms. And here you had a man who had the right to bear arms, had all the legal documentation to own that firearm, wasn't a convicted felon, a standing right citizen, and all that shit. Here it is, he got gunned down in his fucking car. You don't hear not one of those white brain nationalist motherfuckers right now sending out not one tweet. You know what I mean? That's the shit I'm talking about, man. You know what I mean? We can talk about this shit, bro, so we can go in the case. You know what I mean? All that shit about singing Kumbaya, man, that shit don't mean all that going to church. Man, motherfuckers been praying for 400 fucking years to Jesus and all that shit here. And man, come on, bro. Like, come on. Like, even like this with that bullshit-ass religion. And, like, bro, we've been praying for hundreds of fucking years. Like, when is enough? When are God going to say, you know what? These people have something. Don't get me wrong. You know, people all over the world, they have their shit. I'm not saying that we're the only ones. You know what I mean? Even with I take the Jews. You don't think no motherfuckers prayed long and day and night before they got thrown their ass in that oven? They're Hebrew. You know what I mean? They go by the Old Testament. You don't think they prayed to the Torah or whatever? But all those got before they got their ass cooked. Like, you know what I mean? Like, all that sitting by singing Kumbaya, and all that shit ain't gonna change a motherfucking thing, man. You know what I mean? I hate to say that, you need to shut up and bear arms, but I can promise you this, my right hand, that God, wallahi, and let that be my son. Let that be my motherfucking daughter or any motherfucking thing, or anybody in my family. Motherfucking, I'm telling you right now, May God have mercy on that cop's soul. That's all I can say, man. And I ain't got shit else to say about this shit, man. This shit is fucking disgusting. You know what I mean? Listen. I don't even fucking watch the news, bro. I'm seeing this shit on Instagram. You know what I mean? I'm seeing this man taking this last fucking breath on social media, bro.
That shit
You know what I mean?
it's crazy, man. That shit is
That's
crazy.
the shit that was wild about it to me. It was like I was literally just. It wasn't no movie. It wasn't no video game. I was watching somebody take their last breath. That shit was wild.
That shit right there just got me. I don't watch the news neither. I hardly watch TV. All I do, I play video games, watch anime. But as far as TV news, I don't. I get all my news from YouTube, social media, Facebook, Twitter. And actually, you get to scoop more on fucking Facebook and Twitter more than you watching your news stations, CNN, Fox, all that shit.
Don't forget about chat.
Yes, it's just sad that we're still talking about this in 2016. And basically, you would think that as us blacks, as a whole in this country, you would think that this shit would have got better over the years. It got a tad bit better since the 1960s. The only thing that's different from 1960s than today is the fact that they have to basically stop segregating the water fountains in restaurants and shit. So that's the only thing that got better. But as far as racism going, it's still there. As far as the KKK, the Ku Klux Klan going, it's still there. All they did, they traded in their white uniforms for black and blue. That's all they did. So basically, they have every right to fucking treat, not just blacks, minorities, every fucking way they want to treat us. Talk to us any way they want. Fucking just treat us like dogs, and they could get away with it. Fucking plant drugs and guns on us after they done fucking shot us dead, and fucking still get away with it. That shit has been going on for years, man. But since
it's going to continue to, bro. It's not going to change.
Everybody is fucking video recording these cops doing these heinous crimes, but they still get away with it. Just look at the fact that people talking about white privileges it doesn't exist. That is fucking bullshit lie. This black dude, he was 16 years old. They got convicted of rape. 16 years old. The reason why he took a plea deal because they was gonna give him I think 5 years or something like that. Then he's gonna be a free man. But look at the Stanford case. He got caught by 2 guys raping an unconscious chick. And he gets 6 months in jail and fucking 3 months for good behavior. If that was somebody of color, it don't have to be black. It could be a fucking Hispanic. The judge always throws the books at non-white males. It's just how it is. And these people, these delusional people still don't understand. Y'all got to remember. I'm not even reading the chat yet because I think I got some trolls in the chat. I don't know, but this is not an attack on white people. I'm just letting you know. If I did not like white people, I wouldn't have Nick on my show. He's always on my show. Nick, he's like one of my brothers. I get along with everybody. But this is an attack on police. This is an attack on just America, period. The way they treat minorities. They treat us like second-class citizens, man. This shit has gone too far. Like you were saying a while ago, this protest, it's not doing no good. Sandra Bland, fucking Trayvon Martin, Eric Garner, Mike Brown. Now these two other fathers that just got fucking shot down for no goddamn reason. And of course, with the first guy that got gunned down in Baton Rouge, they always want to bring up his criminal history. Last time he was convicted was in 2000, 16 years ago, but they want to bring it up. I don't know what is up with. I could go back and talk about the gorilla incident in Cincinnati on how they fucking investigating that child's father, even though he wasn't even fucking there. But yet they want to investigate that 2-year-old's parents that fucking got fucking killed by an alligator at Disney World. But they show sympathy for for their family, but did not show sympathy for their 4-year-old baby in Cincinnati. Could have got killed by that gorilla. And also you got these petitions and shit. Talking about they want to fucking dig more deeper into the father's past. They want to get him locked up. Like, are you serious? So black lives does not matter in America. This is why I'm doing this podcast, because it's a lot of issues that needs to get brought up, and I'm sick and tired of people talking about, well, white folks, cops, they kill more white folks than black folks. You got to remember, we as black folks only takes up between 8 to 10% of this population. White folks takes up 60%. Like, come on, man. Like, there's no argument about this, man. Over 100 black men in 2015 got gunned down, unarmed in 2015. Over 100. And this kid named Laquan McDonald, that's the one, I'm pretty sure y'all remember what happened. He got shot 16 times, got shot dead. Matter of fact, he was already dead, and that cop continuously and shot that boy. It is on tape. I swear, if y'all look up Laquan McDonald, y'all
Chicago,
see
right?
how tragic that incident was.
Chicago,
yes, he
right?
was carrying a knife, running from the cops. But why the fuck? Okay, when you shoot somebody, that means that you're trying to detain them, you're trying to take that weapon from them, shoot in the leg, shoot him in the shoulder, arm, whatever. Do whatever you can to detain them. Tase them. But shooting them 16 times meaning that you was intended to kill that person. This happens every day with black folks, and I'm fucking sick, and I'm tired of this shit, man. But let me go to somebody else. What about you, King Ramsey?
To me, it's really not, any surprise. As you were saying earlier, like, it's pretty much been this way forever. If you really look at the foundation of this country, it was on murder and genocide. So it's not much has really changed, and a lot of people always say, like, it's 2016, you would expect something different by now. Nothing changes with time but the date on the calendar and technology. People going to remain the same as generations go on. We're going to be having this same conversation in the year 2025 and 2030. People going to remain the same, and I think that it's sad, but I'm really not surprised by the situation that happened over the past couple of days. I want to touch on something you said a little earlier when we first started this cast, though. You said, something about, like, black lives aren't going to matter until they start mattering to us. I hear that being said a lot, but my whole problem with the whole black on black crime argument is it's a difference between somebody killing somebody over something ignorant. I'm not saying that it's right or it's okay or it's excusable, because it's still wrong, but it's a huge difference between two people who get into a dispute and one person killing somebody, because that person 9 times out of 10 is going to get arrested. It's a huge difference when it's somebody being paid by the people to quote unquote protect and serve, and they killing them and they getting away with it. That's my biggest problem with the whole situation, because black people are being killed with impunity, and in all honesty, it seems like it's nothing that can really be done about it. I agree with Nxtgen 110%. I was having that conversation earlier today. We could do all of the praying, we could do all of the marching, we could do all of the rioting and all of the yelling on TV and on social media and in these podcasts, but at the end of the day, what are we going to do? Because we do this every so often, and I had that conversation earlier. We've been doing this for over 50 years, since my grandmother was a teenager, and technically, if you want to think about it, we still in the same boat. Like you said, all they did was took away the signs, but at the end of the day, it still exists. It truly does, and it's going to always exist. But I think that it's tragic that 2 dudes lost their lives. And I do find it funny, because that's the conversation I had earlier as well. Like Zaire said, you don't hear none of these NRA organizations coming out speaking out about, these brothers having the right to carry their guns. If you wanted to think about it, we could go back to the Tamir Rice situation, where he was in you had the right to carry a gun where he was from. Police didn't say nothing. They just hopped out and shot that boy. What's the dude name? Jamin Crawford, when he was in Walmart with the BB gun. They didn't say nothing. They just walked in and shot that boy. It's no such thing as a open carry state when you're a black man. There's no such thing as that. You can see white people walking around with an assault rifle strapped to their back, and it's okay. But you see a black man with a gun, it's like a black man with a degree. It seems like it's a threat to white society. I hate to say it like that, but it just does. you know, and I think it's tragic, but you know, it's not surprising to me at all. And trust and believe it's not going to be the last time we're going to see a situation like this happen. That's pretty much all I got to say about it. It was just a tragic situation, and watching those guys, I watched two men back to back take their last breath on camera, you know, and struggle just to hold on to life, and that shit got hit me, man. It hurt. It really did. And for no reason.
I didn't even know about that first incident in Baton Rouge until like late yesterday. So I was watching all these videos, and all of a sudden I'm hearing another police shooting. When I was going to bed, I was like about 11, 12 o'clock, you know, at night. I was like, there's another shooting? Like, what the fuck is going on? So I stayed up to about 1 o'clock in the morning trying to see what's going on with this most recent events, man. This shit is fucking sad. The dude had a gun license, but I guess that doesn't matter with us, you know, to carry Second Amendment rights. It does not matter with the African Americans or Black Americans, however you want to classify us. But yo,
that's all. One thing we're not mentioning is the I know there's more, but the two children that were technically right there when their parents died, the young boy and the little daughter with the other black man. You know, these kids were right there, man. These kids are growing up with a huge hate in their heart, and who knows how this could turn out. But that's what we're overlooking, is these kids are witnessing their parents be killed, and something's going to develop. Something very bad's going to develop from this.
And another thing that I do want to talk about is black on black crimes, in which everybody always want to throw that shit there. Talking about what about blacks killing blacks every day? Well, that's a different subject. We got all kinds of problems. We can't solve everything in one day. We gotta take baby steps. We gotta take baby steps. And yes, black on black crimes is really bad. I would really wish we can fucking fix that shit. And this is why black folks can't get along, because stupid shit like that.
Real quick, real game. Let me touch on that real quick, because to be quite honest with you, whenever situations like this go down, I get so sick and tired of hearing about, well, what about black on black crime? If you want to be honest, if you look at any race, that race is going to be predominantly killed by that race. Asians, Hispanics, whites. You look at most crimes against white people, they committed by what? Other white people. It's no large demographic of black people that's going around killing white people or Asian people. So anytime you see a large demographic of people dying, it's going to be from that same race. That's just common sense. The problem comes into play, like I said, when you have people who are being paid by the people to enforce the law and to, like I always say, I put this in quotations, protect and serve. That is when the problem comes into play. Because who you going to call when the people who are killing you are the people you're supposed to look to rectify these situations? You know? And like I said, anytime something like this goes down, that's the first thing people like to bring up, especially when it's a black person. But if a cop was to kill a little white child, the last thing you're going to ever hear is about, well, what about white on white crime? When was the last time you ever heard that in the news or in an article? And like you said about that Harambe situation, when that happened, I remember reading an article where they were talking about the boy's father had a criminal history and all of this, and I was like, what the hell does this have to do with that?
That's Fox News for you.
But did they bring up did they bring up the history of that father who's the 2-year-old son got eaten by the alligator? Did we hear about his past? No. Nope. That's what they do to black society, just like the guy out in Sterling. They show his mugshot on the news. What are you showing that for? You got pictures of him with his family. You got pictures of him smiling and happy and living a normal life. Why would you choose to post a picture of his mugshot?
And the bad thing about
that's what they get paid to do, man.
That was 16 years ago when you got in trouble. 16 years ago. That's
the image that they implant inside people's head.
We could do something that we fucked up, back in the 90s, and in 2016, they could still bring up your past 20-something years ago, just to demonize you. That's just how it is, man. And people still don't get it. They don't get it, man. I lived through this shit. I've been discriminated. My dad been discriminated. Hell, he's an ex-con. He's been in prison. My dad, back in the early 90s, but he's making a good living now. He got out, got his shit together. He's doing good for himself. But according to America, if you do something, they're gonna go back on what you did 25, 30 years ago, and not even concentrating on the good deeds that you are doing. Like, everybody is not a saint here. Everybody's not a saint, and the deal with that is, why that the young white males that goes on mass shootings, killing sprees, why are they always fucking classified as mentally ill? But if black folks do it, we're thugs and criminals. That doesn't make sense to me. And Muslims are terrorists. Last time I checked, if you go on mass shootings in your own country, you terrorizing your own country, making you a terrorist. So these stereotypes on these certain races, it boggles my mind, man. And the fucking mainstream media has every part to do with this. They to blame for this. And not everybody's a criminal. If you're black, you're not a criminal. You're not a thug, you're a criminal. You got thugs and criminals in every race, man. But with blacks, you know, we can fuck up. I mean, we had a good record, but we fucked up one time. We're human. But if according to America, we have to be perfect. But if we have a slip up, you're a thug and you're a criminal for life. But if you're a white, you have mental issues. That's all I can say on that part. What's up? Go ahead, Hunter. I don't think you say anything, Hunter. Go ahead.
Oh man, I'll put it this way, man. Like I said, when I heard about the shit, I'm like, man, I've been seeing that shit since I was 10 years old. Like I said, I didn't saw motherfucking the police with the canines. I've feared the police for up 10 years. You know, when I go outside, I see a cop, I go the other way, and I shouldn't have to feel that way. You know what I'm saying? People want to use the cops, you know, white cop. No, black cops do it. Hispanic cops do it. Asian cops. I consider them their own race. They just blue. You know what I'm saying? And what's fucked up thing about it, they train these guys to be that way. I had a cop saying we're trained to do that, to put you down, make sure you don't get the upper hand to you. But then you can't come back 5 minutes and apologize. And you know what I'm saying? People vote these police chiefs and these DAs and all these offices. Them motherfuckers need to be held accountable too. You know what I'm saying? Because they're the ones that's cahoots letting these cops off and ain't charging them. But you go charge the person without paying the goddamn traffic ticket. You know what I'm saying? That don't make no sense. You know what I'm saying? You got to sit there and, you know, people talking about the march and all this. You know, we did out here in LA. We burnt this motherfucker down. But you know what we fucked up? We burnt our own stuff, our own shit down. You know what I'm saying? Motherfuckers need to come up there with pitchforks at that police station. Exactly. You know, at that judge, how'd you let this guy go? You know what I'm saying? That's the dumb shit right there. And then all of a sudden, you know, when we get a trial, they say this is of your peers. I thought peers meet friends. I don't know none of them motherfuckers in that jury. So they ain't none of my friends. So why they can't get a jury? Why don't you let them sit there and have that mother or that wife or someone to get killed right there? But they don't want to do that. And then you got the public, you know what I'm saying? I call them public pretenders. You know, oh, now we ain't going to charge for that. You know what I'm saying? But you'll charge us in the New York Minute. You'll get us. You'll do us in. You'll do us in. And we should not even be us. We shouldn't, why, as us black men, scared to go outside? You know what I'm saying? It hurt me like, man, I'm scared to go jogging. Like, huh? We shouldn't be doing that. You know, when a cop come looking at you, you know, look at you, you know, saying it's crazy. But you know, they need to stop. The cops need to stop getting suspended with pay. When they go to jail, they need to go take their ass to General Pop, Supermax, or get Fleece Johnson. Let them cops out hearing no motherfucking stories. Just like when we go to jail, we don't get no treatment. Quit sending their asses to PC and all that shit. Give them the motherfuckers and make them entitled for the goddamn too. If death penalty. Shit. Let them motherfuckers and I don't want no motherfucking lethal injection. You need to fry their asses. That's lethal injection too easy. Fry the shit out of their asses. And make an example. Because they make examples out of us every day. They're making examples. And like I said, that's how you hit their asses. You gonna go, you know what I'm saying, get at your local you know what I'm saying? Like, you know what? We ain't voting. We ain't, like you say, Nxtgen say, we ain't buying shit. Fuck that shit. Hit them with their pockets. They gonna turn. The world gonna turn, you know what I'm saying? It's just crazy. And it ain't like you say, it ain't every cop. You know, it hurts cool cops. But like you say, people, like we said earlier, they're not standing up for the person. They're not saying that you were wrong. They're not going to, you know what I'm saying, to the internal affairs and say, hey, you know what, that didn't happen that way. But they got quote unquote this brotherhood. If they somebody snitch, they gonna get this ban. Wrong, right is right and wrong is wrong. I'll turn on them motherfuckers like shit. You gonna kick me out your group? Shit. I'll shoot your ass too. You know what I'm saying? But it's crazy. Police is crooked. I mean, it's crooked. It's been crooked for years. Do I see it changing? Hell to the no. I don't see that shit changing no time soon. I'll be a man in my lifetime. I see it. I hope it do. I actually made a joke to my homie last night. Said the only reason we get rid of this racism and all that shit is if aliens come down. We all gonna come together and let them come and attack. We all gonna come together after that. That's why I think racism will end.
Yep. Racism ain't going to enter nobody exists on this planet. That's what racism.
People are too petty. Like if everyone like just slept with everyone and became one race, they would still find a reason to hate.
No, it's gonna go to wealth. And then if it don't go to wealth, it's gonna go to weight.
Honestly, it already goes to wealth. You know, rich people have what they call old money and new money, and they hate each other. So.
Yep. It's going to never be a time in our life or our grandchildren's lifetime where segregation is not going to exist on some wavelength. It's just not. That's just what humans do. We just fucked up mentally.
Yeah, because it's like that in other countries to some degree. Like, they're not as racist as us, but they still have, like, class systems and stuff to some degree.
It's bananas, man. Like, this shit here is like ridiculous. Like I said, we could sit and speak all that kumbaya shit and shit ain't gonna change a motherfucking thing, man. Until us people, you know what I mean? I'm not talking about black, I'm talking about the less fortunate. Take up against the motherfucking, the 1% of the world, man. Because it's like, in the day, and I don't want to say it's like it's a black thing. You know, we are the majority of the people that are gunned down out here. And I mean, it'd be a fool and not to acknowledge that, but it does happen to white folks also. You know what I mean? The young boy in, I believe it's North Carolina, smoking reefer or something, and the cop gunned his ass down. A homeless man out there in L.A. Was mentally challenged a little bit, and the motherfucker beat him to death, and he was screaming for his father. Another white motherfucker in one of those national parks had a low. He was mentally ill too, but the motherfucker had a knife about the size of a toenail clipper, and they gunned his ass down. You know what I mean? So it comes a time like this in the day when these motherfuckers just got a license to kill. You know what I mean? That's why I said I didn't lose any sleep. I didn't blink when that guy that went from Boston. Baltimore, Maryland, went up to New York. And he busted them 2 cops' ass. I mean, you know, I mean, is it fucked up? Yeah, but you know, it's like I sad to say, man, because we taken so many losses. I finally got to say one for us. You know what I mean? For the have-nots, man. You know, because they made it a police state. They made it them against us. Because not saying that all cops are bad, but when cops do fucked up shit, you good cops don't stand up and speak out on this shit, man. You know, if you motherfuckers be quiet and hold your head, oh, that's not me, that's him. I don't do that. But you know what I mean? And until that changes, until these cops start calling out these motherfuckers. You know, even in I know they say little racist shit. I was reading a report a little while ago where it was, I believe it was Chicago. And the dispatcher was talking to and one of the cops came out. They like, yeah, he just got the nigger, and said that shit over the fucking walkie-talkie. You know what I mean? That came from. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? Like I said, and until that shit stops, you know what I mean? You know, with that racism shit that be going on, you know, on the low within those police stations and stuff. And you know, I mean, you do have some people that come out and speak out again and blow the whistle. You know what I mean? I think it was in somewhere in Georgia. What I forgot the whatever bureau of this police department was. They were going out there and planting guns and all this shit on black motherfuckers in urban communities, and all these motherfuckers got promotions. You know what I mean? Like, it's crazy, man. Like, you know, I don't have any faith in this judicial system whatsoever, man. Like, you know what I mean? I don't have any faith.
And you're not supposed to, because at the end of the day, they just men too. And they just as fucked up as any other human being on this planet, man. That's the problem. They just humans who've been given this power to feel like they better and more righteous than anybody else, but they just as fucked up as the next man. That's the biggest problem.
Mm-hmm. Hey, Dirty, I don't think we got your intake yet, man. What's your intake on this?
When I first saw the guy in Baton Rouge, when they tackled him and they shot him, you know what I'm saying? Okay, they added again, you know what I'm saying? Like, when it's going to stop. And then, like, the next day, we see the guy is, like, slumped over in his car in Minnesota. You know what I'm saying? When I watched that video, man, of, you know, his girlfriend is in the passenger seat, and he's just slumped over, but you got the cop coming back to the car saying, you know what I'm saying, didn't I tell you to get out the car? And I'm like, this man is dying. How is he going to get out the car? And he's dying. He's literally dying in front of you. And as I kept watching the video, I did not know that it was a 4-year-old in the back. A 4-year-old watched her father die. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's fucking insane. And it's gonna get to a point, man, where motherfuckers just gonna start taking out cops.
I'm afraid of that.
It's gonna get to that.
I want that shit to happen. I ain't gonna lie. I'm telling motherfucker.
I do too.
I root for the bad guy in the movie. I'm that type of dude, man, because I'm sick. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it comes to the point because I don't have any faith. When you can beat a motherfucker down to death, like they did Rodney King, and nobody get found guilty for nothing, it's like, come on, man. So what? That's the only way that we can get some justice is we start knocking some heads out that motherfucker, man. You know, I mean, back in the day, they had some shit called the Seven, and it was these black motherfuckers, and they would just kill random white people. Back in those days, it was a crew of them. And nobody knew, you know, who they was. They couldn't nobody tell me they was called the Seven. And I learned about that shit in school when I was going to Seton Hall. Like, I'm like, yo, they were just motherfucking, you know, like, you know, say if somebody get hung up, strung up, whatever the fuck, randomly go out and just kill them, just randomly. Sad to say it's fucked up, but, you know what I mean, because you did have some good white people back then, you know what I mean, that was fighting for our rights and stuff, you know what I mean, but I'm just saying, like, this, like, you know, that's why, again, I don't put so much faith in this. Like, me and my wife, she don't like, and I want to start off by saying this. I'm not trying to offend anyone. I'm sorry. I am a God-fearing man. I believe in God. I just don't prescribe to any fucking religion. Excuse my French, you know what I mean? And again, you like right now, you know, besides the shit that's going on with blacks, you know, you got the time Donald Trump is pumping them shit, you know, with the ISIS and the Muslims. Do you know how much fucking blood was shed in the name of Christianity? You know how many black motherfuckers was strung up, you know, by the KKK? The motherfucking Catholic Church used to bless the boats that left fucking the UK would go to Africa to get slaves. You know what I mean? Christianity was like, I mean, it was in the name of slavery. That wasn't our religion. That was given to us when we came here. You know what I mean? Whatever the fuck was out there praying, that wasn't, you know what I mean? That wasn't our religion. Like, I don't subscribe to none of that shit because it's religion that keeps us separate. You know what I'm saying? If there's one God, why we gotta have so many different motherfucking, you know, so many different fractions? You know what I mean? Like, at the end of the day, you know what I mean? Like, you got what you call the Old Testament. I told my wife last night, matter of fact. I'm sorry, this shit was early today. You got the Old Testament, right? And you got the New Testament. And then you have what you call the Hebrews, the Jews. They look at Christians like they silly because they even abide by the Old Testament, which has nothing to do with Christianity whatsoever. The Hebrews or Jews, but they believe in one, the Father, the Abba, one, God. And then the Christian, they believe in the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, right? You know, but that didn't come along to like the, you know, I mean, like the 1440s, whatever the fuck. You know, I forgot the guy's name. Father, somebody who made that up. But anyway, I said to say this. You know, but like even like I said, you know, like so much has been done, like I said, in the name of religion. So you have what they call the Old Testament, and you got the New Testament. Don't you think we should have a New Testament? Because what was going on back then ain't relevant what's going on today. You know what I mean? You're going to sit there with your same mind and same body. You think somebody spent 3 days in the belly of a whale? Come on, bro. Like, you know, like just use your common sense. You know what I mean? I think, you know, God got the best rap. If something bad happened, somebody go in and kill a bunch of or 2-year-old kids, or that was God wills. But I got me a job. No, that was God's will. I got me a job. Like, come on, black, we gotta stop it with that shit there, man. We've been praying on our knees, sun up to sun down. That shit ain't changed nothing. You know what I mean? We talking about, bro, we went through over 400 years of this shit here, bro. And we still going through it. I mean, when is enough? Have my people have not suffered enough, man? Again, I'm not trying to be disrespectful for anybody else's race, creed, or color, anything. Don't get me wrong. Of all, how should I say? Of all different people have went through things throughout history. You know what I mean? But we don't even have nothing to call our own, man. You understand what I'm saying? Nothing. You know what I mean? You call a black motherfucking African, that's fighting word. You Haitian booty scratcher, you thought, ain't no motherfucking Haitian. Like, we're so fucked up. Like, we don't even, they show us Africa, on TV. We don't even fucking recognize or you know what I mean? Like that's our people. But you can show a white person in Europe or something, they feel like, that's my brother. But we don't feel that way. We've been, bro. I'm saying we've just been fucked up for years, man. They've taken everything from us. You know what I mean? Don't get me wrong. Even like you take the Romans, they came to Africa and they took shit and they learned and took that shit back to the Vikings. Hey, you stinking, y'all gotta wash. Your motherfuckers didn't even wash their ass. And they asked the Romans where they got so we got that from Africa. You know what I mean? Like we have been floored so many cultures. You know what I mean? On fucking earth. You know what I mean? Whether it's music. You know what I mean? Whether rap, R&B, and this, that, and the other, rock and roll, all that shit came from us. But we don't get credited for nothing. Like I said, we are the biggest contributor to this economy, and we don't own a fucking thing. You know what I mean? Like,
you know why? You know why that is, Zaire? That's because we mentally programmed to believe that anything that's white is right. That's the reason why Ice Cube and all of them other rappers from back in the day, they'd take all of their hard work and they'd give it to a mother lover who white just because they feel as though he gonna put it out there and he gonna make it successful. That's the reason why. Same thing with Jordan. Everybody put all this emphasis on Michael Jordan, but Michael Jordan ain't really the one with all of the wealth. It's Nike. His name just on it.
You know what, bro?
That's another reason why black people hate black people, and that's why I don't even get mad at my people no more, because we've been programmed that way. We got so much hate in us that when the reason we got a good excuse, I can take it out on you, and I know I ain't gonna get in that much trouble. I get probation on you. I won't get that much trouble. They ain't gonna call me.
You know what, bro? And not the cut. I can't even say that no more because and I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna keep it funny. I am what you call a realist. And when I say that, what I mean is that when I'm gonna tell you this, and it's the truth. You know what I mean? That I'm more afraid of my own kind than anybody else. You know what I mean? And we all, I don't give a fuck what. Just because we're black, we're not racist. We all have our fucking, our bigotry with us. If I see a bunch of white skinhead motherfuckers across the street, walking, I'm across the motherfucking street. You know what I mean? I don't want no sauce. And it's the same thing. We all have our prejudices in them. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, we do. You know what I mean? I'm not going to sit there and say that we don't. But it's just like black people, we feel we get a pass before it because what we went throughout the years. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, you bring, back in the day, my grandma was like, man, she don't bring no motherfucking white girl home, and fuck, they don't give a fuck what you do. I'd rather you be a fag than being white. I'm like, my grandma tell me shit like that, you know what I mean? Me being the motherfucking, the Superman lover that I am, I done fucked all types of bitches, you know what I mean? But, you know what I mean? But she was dead set on that, not to bring no, I couldn't marry no white woman. She was dead, she had disowned me. You know what I mean? But, you know what, again, and not saying that it's right, but going through what my grandmother told what they went through. You understand what I'm saying? So sometimes you can't say, man, I'm not, and again, I'm making an excuse for it, but sometimes you can sit and say, wow, maybe this is, how you say sympathy, a way that person may feel, or be sympathetic to that person's plight because what they may have went through, or what they may have witnessed. You understand what I'm saying? So I can kind of get, not saying it's right or wrong, but where they're coming from. But some of you motherfuckers, you don't have an excuse to hate whoever. You know what I mean? Because, you think that you're better than someone because your skin is a certain color. If anything, motherfucker, you should be inferior to me. I ain't got to worry about it. I ain't got to go out in the sun and be worried about me getting all fucked up and getting cancer. This is bullshit. You not check it out because my wife is a doctor. And it's being real. Let me tell you how fucked up it is out here. Don't you know there's a thing right now on the black market for black motherfuckers' body organs, man? And it's the God's honest truth. If you think I'm lying, I'll give you a national publicized case right now. Young black boy in Georgia got killed. I'm not going to say no names. whatever. They found him mysteriously dead inside a school inside Georgia, right? And so the family, like, who, you know, it was a prominent black, not prominent, but, you know, wasn't no fuckers in the hood. Had a mother and father, good family. It was like, you know, they wanted their son autopsy. Like, my son had just died. What the fuck happened to my son? They wanted to do an autopsy on the motherfucker. His body organs was gone. They stuffed this motherfucking body with newspaper. There in the Sudan, not too long ago, I said about a month ago, they found about 15 Africans dead, gutted, all their body organs missing. You know what I mean? Real shit. You know what I mean? So, and when I said because they give money for a black kidney or a black heart, or, you know what I mean, because it's being real, and I'm not trying to be racist. Black people, we normally are more athletic. We jump higher, run faster. You understand what, you know, just naturally big. You know what I mean? It is what it is. It's that's fact. It's genetics, the way that we're built. You know what I mean? I'm not saying that you don't have some people that may not be other than black people that may not be, you know, not athletic. I'm not saying that, but predominantly that shit just in us. We ain't got to train. We're just naturally fucking, you know, athletic people. You strong people. You know what I mean? So, but again, that's you know, I should say I feel sorry for, but that's, I don't know, it's a sickness in some people or whatever the fuck the case may be, to think that you're better than someone because of your skin color. That's the craziest. And my grandfather was white. You know what I mean? Like, I'm keeping it real. Like, you know, and which is great. My grandmother told me not to bring a white, but grandma, you married that motherfucking white man. But you know what I mean? I'm keeping it funky. But she, I guess, because of the, you know, because my grandfather's family disowned. They come from money. You know what I mean? Disowned them. My grandmother went through a lot of hardship. But being an interracial couple back then, you know what I mean? She always used to tell me, I don't want you to go through the same things that I went through. You know, but grandma, it ain't the 50s and the 40s no more. But she told me real shit. Ain't nothing new under the sun. You know what I mean? Ain't nothing new under the sun. You know what I mean? And that's real shit. But I'm just saying, I'm just tired of just talking about it, man. And I just want some get back. You know what I mean? Like I said today, I don't really watch the news, but I was upset looking at somebody taking their last breath, bro, on social media for nothing.
Exactly.
For nothing.
You know, I had that conversation earlier with an older person.
And happen, man.
It's
gotten.
I'm sorry.
Oh no, I was just basically saying this shit's gonna continuously happen because how divided our race is. You know, I'm not gonna lie. You know, if I see like a whole bunch of black folks and they look like they up to no good, I'm not gonna trust them. It's just how I feel. I'm more scared about my own race than other people. I'm not gonna lie. I got robbed by a black man a few years ago. You know, a month after my son was born, he put a revolver to my head and robbed me. You know, this was a black guy. You know, got my house robbed about 4 months ago. Took everything. Witnesses said there was a black woman and a black guy. So, yes, we have a lot of issues in our own communities in which I feel that doesn't get brought up as much as the other issues getting brought up with the white cop versus the black man. You know, like I said, we got to take, you know, baby steps so we can correct all these issues, man. It's a whole bunch of shit that we need to fix, you know. With yes, we need to start our own businesses, and I was watching somebody YouTube, I forgot what it was, but he you know, he had a powerful speech, man, and he basically, you know, what he said to make me be like, oh my gosh, are you fucking serious? In America, you know, all these damn tall buildings and shit, 40, 30 stories high, 2% of every business buildings in America that's at least 3 stories and higher, only 2% is owned by blacks. 2% in America. That tells you that something, you know, something's not right. You know, we need to build businesses. We need. That's why I said we need to basically come together. We need to stop with this fucking bullshit within our communities, man. If we can fucking, you know, basically get along with each other, that means we could create more partnerships with each other. Not fucking giving all the money to the white man so the white man can call us a nigger at the same time. That shit happens all the fucking time, man. I'm sick and I'm tired of that shit. You know, we used to have like a lot of businesses.
Man, I'm sorry to tell you that black is never going to get together, you know, to do anything, because if I was to create a business, guess what? The next black man, he's going to look at me and he's going to be jealous. He, in his mind, is going to be, how the fuck he get that? Why do he deserve that? Instead of him saying, damn, man, I see how you built your shit. How did you do it? So I could do the exact same thing. Black folks, we don't do that. The first
That's
thing we
it.
do, we get jealous. When we do want to put a business in our neighborhood, guess what? It's being robbed within like 3 days after it's open.
Yep,
But you can
that's
put a
true.
Korean, you can put a Korean, you can put the Arabs in our store, in our neighborhoods, and motherfuckers don't do shit. They come and take our money and they go back to their home. You know what I'm saying? To their folks, and that's where our money is going back into their neighborhood. You know what I'm saying? It's like you can't do shit with black folk. I'm not saying all black folk. Matter of fact, you can do stuff with black folk. You can't do shit with niggas. That's what
Niggas.
you can't do.
And you know that's something I was going to touch on too, because somebody in the comment section said, "What is this programming that I speak of?" That's the type of programming that I'm talking about. He said it sounded like some conspiracy theory talk. That's the kind of program I'm talking about, where we become parrots of other people's ideas of your own race. That's the programming that I'm talking about. Like, I always hear the same thing parroted by black people. You know, we can't unify, we can't get together, blah blah blah. You don't have to. The whole black collective will never see eye to eye. The whole white collective don't see eye to eye. The whole Hispanic collective don't see eye to eye.
So to act like one race has the problem is completely
and that's what I'm saying. That's a parroted thing that kind of annoys the shit out of me, because I hear this being pushed by white society, and it trickles down, and black people being our natural submissive self, we parrot this shit. And you don't have to collectivize with all black people. It's never gonna happen. It don't have to happen. What has to happen is you have to get a group that you feel as though you can work with, and you build on that. You never gonna have the whole black collective, because we worldwide. We not just African, we not just Jamaican. You look at any indigenous race of people on the planet, and those indigenous people are black. You go to Australia, you go to India, you go to Asia. Those indigenous people, while the mainstream media shows you the white one, those people are black. We never gonna collectivize with every single black person in the world. That's just not gonna happen. Like I said, Hispanics don't do it, Asians don't do it. It's not a real thing to think of. But at the same time, you can start a business. And I hate when I hear black people in particular say, if I open a business, black people ain't gonna support me. Trust and believe. If you open up something people want, they gonna support you. Just like if an Asian come out there, they gonna support them. But they, at the same time, you gotta look at certain things. It's harder for a black person to get a business than it is an Asian person or a Middle Eastern person.
credibility.
So naturally you're gonna see all the Arabs, you're gonna see all of the Asians, you're gonna see all the Koreans in black neighborhoods, because they willing to give them those businesses.
Yeah.
They
Retro,
can go get those loans.
Intake. Retro, did you ever get your intake?
No.
Go ahead, man. I ain't mean to cut you off. Go ahead.
Nah, that's cool. Like, my big thing is that really frustrates me, and I was talking to you guys about this off chat, but my thing is the level of professionalism that the police don't have. Like, I served in the military working security forces, which is a combination of security and law enforcement, and the standard they kept us to is completely different from what civilian police are actually allowed to do. We went on, like, this premises of intent, capability, and opportunity. So if you were to do anything physical, it doesn't even have to be shooting. Even if you want to use the taser, like intent, capability, and opportunity, all three have to be there to be able to do it. If you don't have all three, you can't do it. So, like, when the dude's hat came off and he tried to get it and they shot him, like, in the military, do you know how much trouble you would be in for that? I mean, he had no intent of hurting anyone. I mean, where was the capability? Like, did anyone see a weapon at all? And as far as opportunity, he would have to at least have it in his hand, even if it was holstered, because it's not like you're just going to flip it out the holster and shoot him immediately. And it's like that level of professionalism is ridiculous, because they're getting away with a bunch of crap that, if you were properly trained, you should know what to do. And if you are properly trained and you don't know what you're doing, then you shouldn't have the job. So that's just ridiculous. The other issue I have is the way America is structured in general, because I served overseas 4.5 years. So I spent time in Korea, I spent time in Japan, I've been to Germany and stuff a little bit, and they have so many real problems, and yes, I'm going to say real problems, that they don't really have a lot of racism like we do in America. Like, we have lives that are so much better, so much more comfortable than theirs, that we have a lot of petty stuff going on here all the time, and that's why there's so much
Point,
racism
good
here,
point.
because there's so much free time and there's so much more we can do. Like, I mean, they're poor, they're starving, they're hurting on money and stuff, and they're trying to live, so they don't have nearly as much racism as we do here. But it's America is so much better of a place that we just create stupid problems and a lot of petty stuff that really makes us look stupid to the rest of the world.
That's why they call first world problems.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, did I get to everybody on this subject? Oh, there. Did you ever finish a while ago? Because I know you was talking a while ago. Did you ever finish?
Yeah, man. It's just out of hand. You know what I'm saying? And pretty soon, man, I think people just gonna start putting, matters in their own head. They're just gonna start just, shooting cops. You know what I'm saying? I hate to say it, but it look like that's what it's gonna boil down to.
Yeah, which they have families too, and their families get caught in the crossfire of their prejudice, of their biased notions. In order for black people to stop hating on black people, to stop killing black people, if they only knew history, if they only knew the origin of why you hate each other, how many people fought for us to get far, I guarantee you they wouldn't feel like that way. But like last week on our podcast, what we talked about though is these are things that our will is down to a science. These are things that are designed to make sure a lot of black people don't understand the history. It's designed like it's with a neighborhood. It's designed to keep the mind entrapped. The project it's the way it's shaped. No different than a prison. The way it's shaped is to keep the mind entrapped, keep the mind content.
I think again the other issue and the biggest issue, and I'm a real advocate on this, is the American structure. Because I mean, there are some of us that are educated as African Americans too, but the fact of the matter is, once you read in the books and you realize the dark truth of the way to become rich is by stepping over others, now it's the matter of, are you morally not going to do it because morally you see it's wrong, or are you going to be greedy and do what you have to do to become rich? And there's a lot of people that think that way, whether they're black or any other race. And I'm a business major, so reading a lot of the books, like, bigger successful businesses naturally crush people. That's how they become rich. Like, you can have a decent amount of money, support your family, just living a regular life, but if you want to be rich, like, I mean actually rich, legitimately rich, you have to step over people's toes. Like, there is no other way. So it's like, now you have to either choose, are you going to be moral, or are you going to be greedy and go after the money? And a lot of times, people, what do? They go after the money after they get that
That's
education.
Tell you got to be a shark.
Exactly. If you're really nice and you work for a business but you're smart, but they realize you're too nice, they're not going to give you a promotion because they know how they handle things and they realize you're not the person that's going to do it.
Yep. I guess in closing of this matter, we still gonna talk some video games. I just think that all this shit that's been going on these past few years and these past few days, like, it's becoming the norm with these cop shootings and shit. I really feel so badly for these cops. I won't say I feel badly because some of them actually deserves it, but some of these innocent cops actually protect and serve. I feel that they're gonna get in the middle of that crossfire, and I feel that it's gonna be some gangs. I ain't talking about gangs like Crips and Bloods, so it's gonna be some anti-cop gangs, and it's gonna get bad. And there's gonna be some random shootings on cops. Period. It's really gonna get really bad, man. I don't know how to explain this, but like I say, in order for black folks to figure out this shit, we gotta build businesses, man. Yes, it is true that we don't get along with each other. It's true that there's a lot of jealousy, but a lot of that shit was implemented inside of our heads a long time ago for us to hate each other. With the war on drugs, I go back in the day on how black folks used to fucking be one. They used to be fucking together. They actually used to be family oriented. Back when the Black Panthers used to protect and serve their own communities. They used to. Man, Black Panthers, man, I give them a lot of credit, man. I don't know why some of these people keep on trying to freaking compare them to the KKK. That's totally different, man. Black Panthers, they actually gave a damn about their communities. With
that's how they started the real game.
Education. They basically police the police. That's That's why you think they not here no more? Why you think the Black Panthers not here no more? The government, they hate that. They do not like when black people actually come together. Do y'all know how many white folks were scared when you had that Million Man March? They was fucking scared. When they see too many black people fucking come together and get along, that scares them. And it's really sad that we are still having these ongoing events, in 2016. Like I keep thinking, are we in the 1960s? Are we in the 2006? Like what the fuck is going on here? It's like I'm starting to experience what my grandparents, my great grandparents was going through, man. And that's why I'm saying this shit is gone out of hand. But it's up to us as black folks to fix this shit, man. The war on drugs is basically what fucking killed it. We are enslaved in the mind ever since war on drugs, ever since these drugs got fucking shit in our communities. This before Crips and Bloods was invented. This was before the gangs and the drug dealers. This before that time. This was when we were actually getting along. But after that, after the government implemented all those fucking drugs in our communities, we hated each other. Ever since then, we hated each other. Self-hatred. We don't get along. We fucking, singing that "woe is me" to the white man. White men, hate me. Blah blah this, blah blah that. But like I say, man, this shit has been enslaved in our heads for over 30 years, and until we fucking get past that shit, we're never gonna fucking we're gonna never fucking go forward. We're gonna keep on protesting. We're gonna keep on crying and shit. But until we stop all this violence within each other and stop being jealous when another guy, another black man, gets their wealth and stuff and become a millionaire, whatever. Whenever we stop doing that shit, all this negativity towards our own race, we can actually get somewhere. Like I said, we got to take baby steps first.
Again, I ain't trying to interrupt you, but it's going. Y'all need to turn on your TV. 2 cops just got shot in Dallas. Texas.
Are you fucking serious?
Turn on your TV. Go on YouTube. 2 cops just got shot.
Oh my God, man. The crazy part, I live 20 minutes from Dallas.
Oh shit, that is your hometown.
Yeah, I live over about. I'm in the Fort Worth, Dallas area. I'm like, I go on the freeway about 15 minutes. I'm there in downtown Dallas. So yeah. So damn, that's what I'm saying. Man.
Reportedly shot at Dallas Black Lives Matter protest. Okay.
Oh. Oh, that what that was?
That's what I'm reading on Twitter right now.
Shit, man. This, like I say, man, this shit.
Shots fired at Dallas Black Lives Matter protest. In Dallas on Thursday night, according to eyewitnesses. Okay.
Oh my God, this. Anybody else got something to say before we start talking some video games? This is really getting touchy, man. Anybody else got something to say?
Nah, I'm done, man.
Everybody done about this? Talk a little games before we end this.
Yeah, we can get on to the games because
I know this was a really touchy topic, everybody. I know, we might be stepping on some people's toes. I know we got more than black people that's in the audience, but like I say, man, this is not an attack on white folks, man. I'm trying to tell you, this is a fucking attack on police. Police has blacks, whites, Asians, everybody. This is an attack on police, the bad police, not all of them. Matter of fact, there's probably more good cops than bad cops, but the bad cops outweigh the good cops. Kind of like how with black people, how everybody demonizes black folks, but it's a certain amount of black folks that makes the rest of us look bad. That's just basically how it is.
Let's just clear something up right here too, because I'm not with the whole politically correct thing either, where I'm not going to say it's not a black or a white thing, because that's the issue. It truly is a black or a white thing. Let's just fuck the politically correct shit. That's what it is. How many black cops have you seen going around killing white kids or white men or white women? How many have you seen?
Yeah. I don't see none.
Let's just keep it real. Like I'm one person. If I'm gonna spit it, I'm gonna spit it real. I don't mind if I step on your toes and hurt your feelings in the process. You just know I'm stating them facts. I believe it maybe was one situation last year where a black cop accidentally shot a white kid, and that motherfucker is underneath the jail right now. Okay, so let's just keep it real. It is what it is. People don't want to admit it, and I hate to say it, but white society don't want to admit that it exists and that it's real because it somewhat makes them feel some type of guilt about it. You ain't responsible for this, but at the end of the day, It is what it is. It's about white cops who feel a need to go around and gun down these unarmed innocent. You know, I won't say innocent because I don't know, but these unarmed black men. You know, even if they're guilty, it's certain protocol that you're supposed to go by when you and how you're supposed to handle a situation, and they just simply aren't doing it. And that's what they paid to do, to handle these situations a certain way, and they are going completely against the books. You know, and that's my problem with it.
Man, this is crazy. Like, we were just talking about this about retaliation, and I did not know it's gonna be this soon. So since there's already cops getting shot down, monkey see, monkey do. It's gonna be some more shit going down, man. I really feel bad for the good cops, because there are good cops. I'm not saying I hate all cops. I just feel bad for the cops that actually protect them. So there are also good cops out there, man. It's all I like to say, man. All I like to say is, man, if you got teenage boys, man, talk to them, man. Let them know how this system works. You know, with us black men or black teens, it's not in our favors, man. They need to know how to comply with the law, so they won't get, you know, end up shot and dead like a lot of these innocent black people, man. It's sad, man. It's sad but true. I guess let's talk some video games, man. Let's talk some video games. This is devastating, man. Really devastating. I did not know this was gonna fucking shit. I did not know that this shit was gonna happen during our fucking podcast, man. Like, damn. Let's
one
talk.
thing before we go on. Hold on one second.
Yeah.
Well, you just said I didn't know this was gonna go on during our podcast. I had a feeling some shit like this was gonna go on. I was having a conversation with an older person earlier, and I was saying, like, basically what Zaya said earlier, like, all of this marching and protesting, we've been doing this for over 50, 60 years now, and we're still in the same boat that we've been in since those days. And they were like, well, you know, you gotta protest, you gotta let your voice be heard. I said, our voice has been heard for 60 years. She was like, well, it's like if somebody poking at you, you gonna keep letting them poke at you, or you gonna say something? I said, yeah, I'm gonna say something, but after they not listening to me, I'm gonna start swinging. You know, you because if they're gonna keep poking you, you can tell them to stop all day long. But until you start swinging and you put them hands on them, they not going to stop. And that's exactly how this situation is going to go. We can do all of the bitching and all of the moaning we want to do. Until we start fighting back, then the shit is going to continue to happen. It's not going to stop. And I agree with, I think that was Mr. Live said earlier, like, you know, we'll get together and we'll fuck up our own shit. But what you need to do is you need to go down to them police stations, to all of them racist cops, or if you want to call them racist, I use the quotations, and fuck them up. That's the problem. Not your community. It's the police. That's the problem.
That's the thing that, I mean, they're not going to do that. They're not going to go down and fuck with the police. They're not going to go down and tell the, you know, the white folks shit. And then at the end of the day, they're gonna sit there, you know, and look stupid and wonder why nobody is, you know, building up their community, because you were tearing it down.
Yep. That's one thing that always bothered the hell out of me, like with certain situations. Though, I'm like, don't tear up your own community, because then a week later you wondering where you gonna get your baby diapers from, or how y'all gonna go grocery shopping. You done fucked up your own shit, man. Go fuck up what you supposed to, not your own community. That's something that always bothered me in situations.
Got me scratching my head towards these black folks, and especially in that Ferguson. Was it Ferguson? Baltimore. It was Baltimore. That Baltimore riot, like, that was fucking, I don't know what to say. But then again, a lot of those folks that actually got caught terrorizing that town weren't from Baltimore. Some of them came across country from California just to fucking start shit, man.
And you gotta be careful.
This way, out here in LA, just give them a reason to riot. They gonna do it out here. When boy that got messed up in Cleveland, these motherfuckers over here tearing up their own shit. I'm like, look at these fools. Like he said, them niggas.
You gotta be careful too, though, because a lot of times, a lot of those people who started, you got sheeple who follow, but a lot of those people who incite and start those riots, you know, they agents set up in there. A couple of them, they actually got proof of it. They got videos where some of the people who started throwing rocks and shit was undercover cops. You know what I'm saying? So you gotta be careful with situations like that too, and you gotta teach, like you were saying earlier, your kids and just the community, just to be a little more smarter. You know, don't be so quick to follow and say, "Oh shit, well we about to fuck some shit up, let's do it." No. You gotta think first. You know,
Yeah,
and that's a big problem in a lot of the communities. People just do whatever's going on instead of thinking about shit first.
yeah. I think also, man, like us as older cats here talking. We need to, if we have um, young kids, sons, what I'm saying, nephews, cousins, we need to let the young ones know, it's going to be a time where you are going to get stopped. You know what I'm saying? And it's up to you to try to, you know, prevent, something bad from happening. Like, yeah, I've been pulled over like twice since, all this stuff been happening, since Ferguson and all this. And you know what I'm saying? I'm watching myself, and I also know that the two cops was watching themselves. You know what I'm saying? I didn't come off as, fuck y'all want. The man asked me, he's like, "You want me to pull you over?" I said, "No, not really." He said, "Well," he said, "you ain't come to a complete stop at that stop sign." I said, "Oh, okay." I didn't know that. I didn't give him no bullshit like, "No, I stopped, man, and you want some bullshit?" No. He said, "All right." He was like, "You got any? Let me see your license and insurance." Straight up told him, I said, "My license is in my wallet in my back pocket." He said, "Okay." He said, he said, "Everything is fine." I said, "I'm just letting you know." So we both on the same page. And when I took out my license, gave it to him, I said, "My insurance is in my glove box." He said, "Okay." And when I reached over, I could see the other cop on the other side, you know what I'm saying, at my back door, bent over to make sure I wasn't going for any type of weapon. When I opened up that glove box, he could see straight in to see if I was about to grab anything. So I grabbed my insurance papers and gave it to him. He said, "Okay, we'll be right back." They went in maybe for like 2 minutes, came back out. He said, "You from work?" I'm like, "Yeah, I work for him." And he said, "He's like, well, just make sure please stop, and just watch yourself and take it easy." I was like, "All right, cool." And these was two white cops. You know what I'm saying? I had to put myself in a position not to stir anything up. You know what I'm saying? If you would have told me to get out the car, I just would have got out the car. I ain't gonna ask you why. You know what I'm saying? Just get the fuck out the car. Because when you start asking that, now they starting to get irritated. And I know sometimes black folks, you know what I'm saying, we don't like to be told things, especially a man. You know what I'm saying? I'd rather live another day than, to just step out of my car than to just ask them, "What the fuck for? I ain't done nothing. What the fuck I gotta, get out my car for?" I'm cussing this man out. Now, if he asks me politely, I'm like, "Fuck it. I don't have anything on me and I don't have nothing in my car." You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, they're going to look stupid. Because if it's something they want to find, they're not going to find it. If they want to look up my name, they ain't going to find no.
The sad thing is, I think that's just human nature for a lot of people. I mean, since there is some prejudice against us, I think we need to learn to just, not let it happen because it's going to happen if you question them. But I'll admit, human nature, people tend to do that. Because even working security in the military and even working security now at the school, like when people come to the dorms and stuff, and I'm making sure they actually have access to come, people will like question it like, okay, if you live here, you know the procedure. You shouldn't be questioning me on how to get in. Or a matter of fact, I work security here. You're not going to get in until I see that you're approved. But people will still ask questions anyway, no matter what race. And I think that's just a problem of human nature, if that makes any sense.
Yeah. I do security too, and I face the same problems
And
on a
it's
daily basis.
frustrating, isn't it?
Everybody wants to think that you just singling them out, and you're not talking to anybody else the way.
Exactly.
And it's like, no, everybody gets this same treatment. I'm not
Exactly.
just coming at you. And I agree with you. That is one thing that we have to do. We gotta just like, it's a pride thing, especially for men. We don't like to be told what to do. Like he was saying, when the cops say pull you over, say license registration. But at the same time, I do think that it comes a time when things have to be questioned, because a lot of times it's just our amendments being, basically just stripped from us. A lot of times, a lot of people don't know if they don't have a probable cause, they really don't have the right to ask for anything from you. You know, but at the same time, I agree with you. That's something that I always say, man. If you could just go along to get along and see another day, fuck it, man. If you ain't did shit wrong, just give them the fucking ID. If that's all they want,
Exactly.
they gonna run it
It'll
and
be
you going
that
about your
much
business.
faster.
Yeah, you know, just going about your business, man. You'll be able to see your family, you'll be able to see your friends, and you'll be able to live another day. It ain't worth it. Just to prove your manhood and put your pride aside. You know, that's our biggest problem is just our pride. You know.
Yep.
Yep, that's the issue, man. Well, y'all ready to talk some video games, man?
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
I know this is really touchy, man. Like, it is what it is, man. Hopefully we get this, hopefully they can get this shit settled. Hopefully we can try to. I don't know what to say no more because I feel that's this shit's gonna get from bad to worse with the retaliation. But let's talk some video games. Let's talk some Nintendo. Let's talk some Xbox. Let's start with Nintendo first. I want to start with this. Miyamoto, coming out the other day, saying that basically the Star Fox game, he want everybody to give that game a second look, but he still don't get it on why people are not, supporting that game. Like, there's like a lot of red flags, with that game. Like, this is why people are not taking Nintendo seriously anymore. This is why a lot of our core fans has left the company because they felt that Nintendo doesn't cater to them no more. They're the long-time fans that's been supporting Nintendo for over 20 years, and now Nintendo wants to change everything up. A lot of these games that we've been loving for 20 plus years, they basically they changing the the Paper Mario games, in which a lot of people love with the RPG elements. Now the Sticker Star, this other shit, like they even confirmed that they're not going back to the RPG elements on Paper Mario. Like, there's a lot of shit that Nintendo has been doing that's been pissing a lot of people off. I can talk about the Metro Prime Federation Force. People they're pissed, man. People is pissed the way Nintendo is going with their direction. They're fucking up their IPs, telling people what they like, even though they don't like it. Now with Star Fox, like, there's a lot of flaws with this game. We could talk about no online multiplayer, has mediocre graphics. I won't say mediocre graphics, because those graphics look terrible. Forced motion controls. There's a two-player co-op, but somebody's flying the jet and the other person is shooting. Like, what kind of fucking shit is that? That's fucking preschool shit, man. So basically, the Star Fox game that people grew up loving, like Star Fox, 64, or like, Nintendo fucked that franchise up, and this is why that game has basically sold the way it's sold, because a lot of people got tired of Nintendo's gimmicks. They got tired of what they doing to their franchise. Like I said this a long time ago, if it's not broken, then why fix it? Why Nintendo keep on fixing these franchises that's not broken? That's the issue. They are suffering an identity crisis, with this company. They got like the best IPs in the world. They got more IPs than everybody, but they don't even utilize half of them. And the games that people love, they want to switch it up for people to hate them. Like, I don't know what to say anymore about it with Nintendo. I just really hope that with this X come out, I really hope that they will fucking give us reason to want to buy this system. And it's just a lot of shit that Nintendo is doing. What Miyamoto said the other day about he don't know why people is basically not buying this game. He want everybody to take a second look. It's an underrated game. Like I say, the time length, about 3-4 hours. The game is $60. No online multiplayer, no replay, value. The motion controls is fucking will turn people off. A lot of people saying that they was fighting the motion controls more than they can fight the boss battles. So yeah, the gimmick of that game fucking it ruined it. It potentially ruined the Star Fox franchise, man. So I still think that Nintendo still don't get it. They still don't get it. Like, I don't know what else to say. Nick, what's your opinion about this? About Nintendo not understanding new today's gaming technologies? Like, why are they still not understanding on what the consumers actually want?
Well, personally, first of all, I think the reason why Miyamoto, whatever how you say his name, is telling people to give it a second chance is because he wants it to sell more. He's probably like not getting the payback he was expecting from the sales of that game. So that's probably one point of why he's trying to do that. As far as them not like understand. Like I don't know. It's like I think what they're trying to do something new, but people don't want it, even though like people keep saying they want something new. I think I know what it is, and I've said this many times. It's not that people don't want something new. Like they just don't like the fact that Nintendo's coming up with it. I mean,
Yeah.
I seriously think that like if Sony came out with this whole gamepad screen thing, people would have eaten it up. That was the greatest thing that ever happened.
Yeah, they would have.
So it's like I think the problem is it's not so much that these ideas are out there. It's just like people don't want Nintendo doing them, and that's a lot of because like of the way Nintendo's image is nowadays. Like people heavily believe, oh, it's just a system for kids, which it could be fine. I mean, why not have why not have a system for kids as well? It's like as we keep growing older, we expect all these companies to grow with us, which is fine. But at the same time, they can't forget like the new generation coming up. I mean, it's just the way I see how it is. I don't know. I think they're still trying to keep that family image thing going, but a lot of like gamers don't really want that anymore because they think, oh, we're grown-ups now, so we have to do grown-up things. And yeah, that's true, but at the same time, it's like I don't know. It's just kind of weird. I think like I said, it's basically like these people aren't so much opposed to these I don't want to say bad ideas. It's opposed to these new ideas. I mean, look at it. VR is pretty much coming out for everything except Nintendo, and everybody's all looking forward to it, mostly. I mean, we got a few people saying, oh, it's a gimmick, it's not going to work. But a lot of people going, oh, boy, virtual reality is finally here. But if Nintendo came out first said, oh, we got VR, it'd be like, oh, it's a stupid gimmick. Oh, Nintendo's forcing that upon us. How dare they? It's just, it really shows how the dynamic really goes. And I think that's how it is. Like, Nintendo is trying to hold on to an image that, unfortunately, and shouldn't be, but it is long past dead or dying. And it's just like it's a double standard. That's really what it is.
Yeah,
I don't know. I think the thing is, it's really that like when it comes to VR and stuff like that, the media eats at gimmicks as soon as they come out. Then when they got an idea that it's a gimmick and it doesn't work as like claimed, then they think of it differently. Because I mean, Nintendo did have a pass for the Nintendo Wii. I mean, casuals ate that up like hotcakes. It was a terrible system, but casuals loved it. Then when the Wii U came out, they were like, okay, this is the same crap. This isn't even a new gimmick.
Like I've said it before, the difference between gimmick and innovation is how successful the gimmick is.
See, but like, I understand what you're saying, but you gotta remember that it was bought by casual fans. I mean, from a gamer's standards, though, it was crap because I had a lot of casual gamer friends who had it, and I hated the way the nunchuck felt. It didn't move very fluently. Any game that moved fast-paced, you couldn't do anything because it was so slow to responding. And then even some of our favorite games like Tales of Symphonia, which we were all happy to get a 2 for, was ruined because they tried to mix in some Pokemon nonsense with forcing you to use the nunchuck.
Hey, wait, I like Tales of Symphonia too. What the hell?
I hated that game.
Well, you can still get it on PS3.
Yep. All right. Who else want to go? You want to go, Jay? I guess.
What was the headline?
You know, Jay, if you talk about Nintendo, he ain't listening.
I really ain't. I tried to ask. I wasn't listening. But it's Nintendo. I don't give a fuck about Nintendo.
All right, what about you, King Ramsey?
You know, I'm gonna be honest with you. I haven't really followed Nintendo news either, but I will agree. You know, with Retro, what he said. You know, I personally think that they were trying to catch lightning in a bottle, and most gamers didn't really care for the Wii too much. I mean, unless you were like a hardcore Mario or Zelda or, you know, fan like that. I personally thought it was a shitty console as well. And I skipped on the Wii U when I saw it was going to be more the same because I'm just kind of tired of the 30-year-old franchises personally. So I really haven't been looking into Nintendo in like the past probably say 15 years, to be quite honest with you. The GameCube was my last Nintendo console. So
And
I
then
don't think I'm really at liberty to speak on it too much.
and then my thing is, I still think, in my honest opinion, gaming is still more of a solo hobby. I mean, we have a lot of multiplayer games and stuff coming out now, and it's starting to become more popular. But at the end of the day, gaming is still more of a solo hobby. Like, think how many friends you have in real life play games, and how often do you play with them? Like, y'all play games, but how often do y'all play together? Y'all probably play a lot of games differently, and then when you play on multiplayer, you probably play with a bunch of strangers you don't know that you complain about and say you hate. Like, gaming is still really a solo activity. It's about how immersed you are into the experience yourself. Like, you could have a friend that loves games, it's cool, but you probably both have completely different tastes. So to try to force you to play games with friends is aggravating, because if you like a game enough where you want to try to share it with a friend, that's cool, but at the end of the day, I want my individual experience.
That's understandable. That's understandable. What about you, Dirty?
I got the Star Fox game, and I mean, I enjoy Star Fox since Super Nintendo, and he should have just gave an option, man, to just use regular controls, with the Pro controller, and call it a day, like all the other Star Fox. This whole look down at the pad and motion with the gamepad. It just didn't feel like a Star Fox game. It looked like the Star Fox, but it just didn't feel like it. You know what I'm saying? It's like it was just getting me frustrated. You know what I'm saying? Like I played like a level, I play like a full planet, maybe two, and then I cut it off because I'm like, this shit is stupid. Like, why does he do this? Just if you're gonna put a Star Fox in my opinion, don't don't have no say so in nothing. The controls, the graphics, nothing. Just let what I'm saying. What they name them, just did the game right. They just let them do it. You know what I'm saying? Moto, I don't know. He's just old. You know what I'm saying? It's time for him to sit down and just pass the torch on to the young generation. You know what I'm saying? Because he really messed that game up. You know what I'm saying? Like I didn't even beat the game, and I want to play it, but I just don't want to deal with the controls. I really don't.
Problem with that is he still don't know why it's so poor. That's
He
right
he
there,
has
though.
to know. He's not a retard. I mean, to have the experience to be a game developer, you have to be smart. Think about all the levels of physics and math and stuff he had to graduate in school. He's smart enough to understand. He doesn't care. So let's be brutally honest. It's not that he doesn't understand. He doesn't care. He's old. He's stubborn. So let's go
I
ahead
just
and
don't
get
think
that
they
out of the
care.
way.
I just don't think they care. Their mind frame is to focus on children, but they don't realize that a lot of children these days play PlayStation and Xbox, majority PlayStation,
It's
since
true.
PlayStation has
Like
been relevant.
most parents let their kids play adult-rated games.
Yep, and
Yes,
the numbers prove that because if you look at it, it's more 12 and 11 and 10-year-olds playing Call of Duty than it is Mario right now.
and let's don't
Yep.
forget Grand Theft Auto.
Yeah, that as
There's
well.
You
more
know how many
kids playing
parents I
Call of
saw
Duty
buying
than
Grand Theft Auto
adults.
for their children?
Yeah, yeah.
I see it all the time. I go to GameStop, seeing these parents buying Grand Theft Auto for children. I see it all the time. Like Nintendo, they still don't get it. Like people our age, we was the originators of the Nintendo fan base, but Nintendo pushed us to the side. That's the issue, and they got to realize not all children don't care about Mario's and Zeldas all the time. They don't care about these little mini games, this Nintendo Lands and Game and Wario. Like this shit, man. Like Nintendo did that to themselves, man. They still don't get it. They still don't understand on how today's gaming industry works, man. They need to fall in line. Look how Microsoft and Sony. You see, look how even though they be copying each other, but look how successful they are because they in competition with themselves, and Nintendo's still trying to run away from competition. They can't run away because they keep stealing their ideas. No matter how much Nintendo try to run away, no matter how much Nintendo say that they're gonna let Microsoft and Sony dog fight that out, but Sony and Microsoft can always find a way to trying to take their ideas away from them and try to one up, and it happens every time. You know, the Wii U proves it. Like, you know, I don't know what else to say, man. Nintendo, they need to just catch up with times, man. Fire all these old heads in the Nintendo headquarters and go younger. But
Yep.
as for right now, they burying themselves alive right now. Even though they got a lot of money in the bank, but that doesn't mean nothing if the fucking home console gonna fucking dry out. Like, it's getting worse every generation, man. It's getting worse. But I don't know. That's all I gotta say. You want to chime in on this, Hunt?
About what Nintendo on how
Not about them not caring no more.
They you know what, loans, I think they just care about what's really going on in Japan and how they're old stubborn old men, and they won't give it to their grandkids and nothing like that. They're gonna roll to the end. That's how I feel about them. You know, they don't want to grow up. They're my thing. You should let the parents police the kids, not you.
Yep. That's why they are in the situation that they are right now. Is that all you got on that?
That's all I got.
All right. What about you, Retro, bro? What you think about Mamamoto? Saying he was disappointed in the sales, and he said that this game's the Star Fox is his most underrated game, even though he's not fucking talking about the flaws of this game.
Well, my
Like,
thing
go
is,
ahead.
my thing is, especially after all the horror reviews of the game, I still gave the game a chance and bought it. This is even after all the reviews from sources I found legitimate to still try the game that I didn't like it. So that's complete bull. Second, the other thing is that he's ignoring what the economy wants in general. I'm not just talking about the Western world. Like, we can't even make the excuse that he's doing what Japan wants, because fact sheets has proven that Japan is about mobile gaming. They're so busy in their lives with working and stuff that they don't really have time for consoles. There's plenty of websites you can look on that shows that the top 3 is cell phone, 3DS, Vita, then consoles. So, like, they're not even appeasing that crowd. So who are they making it for? Miyamoto? It's like, if he doesn't smile, we can't put it in production?
Hey, that's a good question, man. So that's all you got on that, Retro, bro?
Well, the other thing I had is, like,
Okay.
I understand that they want to be a children's company, and I understand why they don't want to advance to some degree with the times, because they don't want to deal with lawsuits and stuff, but one of the first rules in business is that you have to take a little risk. So to some extent, you have to make some risky moves that may have repercussions to it. It's like, you can't be a businessman or a businesswoman if you're not willing to take some risk. I'm not saying go balls to the wall all the time, but you have to make some risk to try to reap reward, and they're not doing that. They're complaining they're completely safe all the time, and they're coming out to be boring and unnoticeable. But that's all I got.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I just want to touch up on this because I feel that with that mind frame that Nintendo has, I feel that they still hadn't learned their lesson, with this with the Wii U situation. But in order for the NX to be a success, they have to merge the handhelds with the consoles, because a lot of Nintendo fans refuse to buy their consoles. Their consoles, and they get the handhelds because they get more support, more Nintendo games, more third-party support. So a lot of them refuse to buy handhelds, and of course a lot of, well, I won't say a lot of Wii U fans. Well, some Wii U fans, they don't want to get handhelds because that's don't lie. A lot of adults don't really play handhelds, like children does. So that's the issue that Nintendo, I think they probably going to figure out. If they merge the handhelds with the console, it's a pretty good chance that the NX will be a success because third parties got no choice but to make games for the NX, knowing that the handheld is going to be a part of that system. So of course we got Zelda going to be a launch title, so they're going to have a really good start. So I don't know, man. Only thing we can do is and just wait and see on how this situation is going to be. I do want to get an NX, but at the same time, I'm not going to get burnt like I did with the Wii U. You know, I supported all third-party games. I supported the first-party games. I supported that system, but the deal with that is we didn't get enough Nintendo fans to support third parties. So that's why that's why third parties, left the system, and that's why we've been having these months of droughts or years of droughts because the Wii U has been almost about 4 years now, and I think they had over a year worth of droughts. If you calculate all the months without retail games, like it's really bad, man. It really is, man. That's really all I got to say on this, man. Let's talk some Xbox. Anybody else want to chime in on this before we head to our last subject?
Yeah. You say everybody is saying that the NX may be like a
Hybrid.
console / handheld.
That's what the rumors are stating.
Yeah, and I remember when the rumors first came out, and I guess nobody was thinking that in order for Nintendo to do that, wouldn't it have to be a cartridge? Because who can fit a Blu-ray disc in their pocket and take it on the go with them? So this whole cartridge thing, like the Vita and 3DS, it may be true if this is what Nintendo was trying to do with the NX. It would have to be cartridge. You know what I'm saying? I don't see me carrying around a jewel case, 3-4 jewel cases in my fucking back pocket. You know what I'm saying?
And me personally, I don't like the whole cartridge idea, mainly because I do play a 3DS consistently, and I understand that to do a cartridge, you're not going to have a lot of memory, so it forces you to buy SD cards and stuff like that to have more memory.
Well, if Nintendo actually used the SD cards, like I think the highest SD card I think is like 128 gigabytes.
Yeah.
But you're not gonna really need that much for a game. You know what I'm saying? If the cartridges are like I don't know, maybe 10, 20.
I don't know. It depends because I know when you get a 3DS, it comes with a 2, and a 2 doesn't do anything at all. You try to download just Pokemon, and you already need a new SD card because that's not downloading to the 2 they gave you.
Okay.
So it's like if you have really big games, which a lot of the games on their consoles are definitely going to, it's definitely not going to work because a lot of their games push past that storage space most of the time. Like you'd have to be playing something really small in a really short game to not take up a lot of storage because the cartridge really don't hold much of anything. And don't let the game be a multiplayer that updates.
Oof. Yeah, that's going to be it's going to be something.
Well, I don't know how Nintendo's going to do it, if this is true, it's a handheld / console.
Me neither, man. But I don't know. Time will tell. Time will tell. And I think Nintendo said that they're going to skip the Tokyo Game Show. That's why I think that's what they reported. And I'm gonna say this: if they plan on doing a Nintendo Direct, freaking revealing a console, even though Nintendo Directs don't get as many views as Tokyo Game Show, Gamescom, and especially E3, then they're stupid. I don't, some Nintendo fans, they think it's fine for Nintendo to have a separate event so everybody can be focused on them, but they don't realize that you get more media attention when you go to those Tokyo Game Shows, Gamescom, E3. We go to those big events, man. Because eyes are watching, more eyes is watching. But I don't know what Nintendo is doing. The NX is supposed to be coming out in March, and we still don't know what the hell this is. And right now, the longer that we are waiting for this console to get revealed, the deeper the grave the NX is going to be in. That's just basically how I'm seeing it. I've been saying this for the longest, that the way Nintendo is treating this NX is this could be a hell of a console, but it could be too late because a lot of Nintendo fans are leaving right now, and this NX possibly could be the next Dreamcast, a really great console, but it was just too late. It was too late. That's just how I feel about it. This might be the next Dreamcast, all we know, but I don't know, man. That's all I got to say on this.
Just tell us, we're gonna do
we're gonna do a direct in in September or in August. Give us something, man. It's like stop holding this carrot in front of our face and just tell us when you're gonna have some type of event actually demonstrate the console, talk about the console, or whatever you want to do. Just give us a date because you already know the date. You already know the month and time when you want to do it. Just give us a heads up. And shit, it been like a year and a half. Just
Yep.
let us. Hey, you know what? We're not saying anything about the NX. We didn't say nothing about E3. We probably won't say nothing about Tokyo Show. But in September, look out for a direct, and we will fill you in on the NX. That's all you got to do. That's all you got to do.
Nintendo, they are so stuck in their old ways. So, yeah, this is why they are the punchline in this gaming industry.
And the thing is, like, I can't talk for everybody, just talk to myself on this one, but, like, if you're struggling on money and you're trying to save and budget for different games and stuff, you're going to consider stuff that you already saw, tried demos, etc., etc. We still really don't know anything about the NX, so it's like, how can I consider it over other games and other competition right now? It's like they're not motivating us to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right, is that everything on this before we talk some Xbox?
Mm-hmm.
All right, I guess the last subject of today. I'm not gonna do questions today because with this podcast a little lengthy and plus it's kind of late where I live at. Yeah, let's talk some Xbox. Of course, I had some Sony guys trolling me in my comment section. Was it yesterday when I made that video about Microsoft being, pro-consumer? Got a lot of people want to bring up the red ring of death in my comment section and shit. But like I say, Microsoft was being pro-consumer for a while. Yes, it got a lot better when Phil Spencer had came, but with my 360, even though I had the red ring of death, I didn't spend another dime getting another console because a lot of people had the issues and they wound up getting a really good deal. Either I believe I got like a $250 or $300 credit whenever I got that red ring of death from GameStop, and basically that's when I got the Xbox Elite with the Kinect. So, a lot of people, like I say, if you had a 360, more than likely you probably had the issue, and more than likely you didn't pay full price for another Xbox, and plus, you can send it back and get it fixed for free, free of charge. That's back in the 360 days, but I'm talking about right now in the Phil Spencer era. About if you want to compare Microsoft, Sony, and Nintendo on how they treat their consumers and everything, Microsoft wins by a long shot. Man, I'm sorry. You don't see Reggie Fils-Aimé on Twitter actually freaking talking to their fans. They don't care, man. They don't care. Phil Spencer, he actually talks to everybody, man. He talks to everybody. And he the one that fucking exposed a lot of these Xbox fanboys have been idiots. Like he is in this gaming community. He knows what's going on. Hell, he be on people's podcasts on YouTube. Like this dude is a nice guy. He's a nice guy. And it's more just than him just being a nice guy. He's done a lot of right moves to this Xbox brand. And of course, a couple of moves was controversial with the the games going on Windows 10 and everything, and I really never had a problem with that because, like I said, Xbox is Microsoft, Microsoft is Xbox. It doesn't matter. Their sales on Windows on the PC sales is still going to Microsoft, and of course you got the Sony fanboys, who talk about you ain't got Microsoft, Xbox ain't got no. Why Microsoft should give a damn? That is still Microsoft is Windows 10. Windows 10 is Microsoft. Xbox is Microsoft. Like, doesn't matter. It's the same shit, man. The same ecosystem. But that's their only argument with this. And there's other shit about Microsoft being pro-consumer. We could talk about backwards compatibility, in which, in my opinion, they won E3 last year, even though they showed really good games last year. E3, really good games. But what killed it was them giving us backwards compatibility, in which you don't get with Sony. You get this streaming service, in which costs it costs a bit of change every month for that service, but you get games that you don't want to play. Like, I don't like that. I got a whole bunch of free games. And another thing. People always want to throw out the $60 price tag on the Xbox Live and shit. it's little. I won't say it's expensive. Yeah, it's more than a PSN, but you get better servers. You get better service on the Xbox Live. Xbox Live always been superior than the Nintendo Network, than the PlayStation Network. But I got my money back. Even though I pay my $60 a year, I still get my money back plus some with all these free games that we get every month. All these free games we get every fucking month. The free games that we got this year, I got my money back plus a lot. You know, with this me paying my yearly subscription with Xbox Live, I got my money back plus a lot more. I'm playing a whole bunch of these games I missed out last generation. You know, fucking. We about to get Red Dead Redemption tomorrow. Like, come on, man. You cannot tell me Microsoft did not try this generation. They did everything they possibly can do to please us Xbox One consumers. I remember when they tried to do the DRM, we spoke up. They listened. It's like a lot of shit that we wanted with the Xbox One. We spoke up. They listened, and they gave it to us. Like, there's a lot of shit that Microsoft is doing, and Sony is not doing, you know, with their PS4, but yet Sony fanboys still find ways to damage control it. Like, they will settle for less. Just like Nintendo fans, they will settle for less. Like, I'm not that kind of gamer. Like, if there's something that needs to get discussed, like, if I have an issue, I'm going to bring it out. And a lot of Xbox fans brought out a lot of the issues, and Phil Spencer listened, and they fucking did what we wanted. That's why I said Microsoft has always been pro-consumer this generation, especially with Phil Spencer taking over. Let's start with you. Let me see. Let's start with you, Gaming Nick. How do you feel about Microsoft being pro-consumer?
Well, I think as far as the Xbox goes, you're echoing, man.
Who, me?
Yeah.
All right, hold on.
Well, as far as the Xbox One goes, I think they've been pro-consumer with that because they're trying to. Now you're echoing, dude. So they're trying to like get.
Hold on. Let's do a test. I'm gonna mute myself.
Hello.
Right now, can you still
Okay, hold on. Hello.
Yeah.
You're echoing.
I'm still.
Yeah.
Hold
on. And 100, you're the other
echo.
How about now? All right, let me see.
It's you and 100. Both of you two are.
Yeah, it's like both of you doing it.
Oh, really?
Okay, no, Real Gamer's not doing it right now, though.
Okay.
Okay, I think now you're... But as far as like the Xbox One goes, I think they've gone pro-consumer, especially based on what they've been doing lately. Like now they're starting to show that more powerful console because like that's apparently what people want. You know, they're trying to offer like backwards compatibility, all that stuff they said they couldn't do, but suddenly turned on a switch and they went there. As far as Microsoft as a whole going pro-consumer, that's a little debatable depending on some things, but that's not what we're talking about here.
No,
it's just that, Xbox, they're fine. Xbox are doing fine as far as consumer goes. They're definitely trying to get that system out there. The only problem I think they're having with the Xbox Slim, though, is it's already being overshadowed by the Scorpio. And it's just like, what's the point of buying the Slim if you're going to get the Scorpio anyway? And I know we don't know the price of Scorpio yet, and there's a chance there's a chance we're going to need a 4K TV to really enjoy it. So I guess if you're looking at it that way, and you still want to play Xbox, then yeah, Xbox X would be the way to go. As far as the Xbox goes themselves, yeah, they're doing a little better. They're doing a lot better trying to get out there and stuff like that. Yeah, as far as the $60 for the online goes, whatever, everybody's doing that. Sony's doing it too. What's the difference? Okay, there's like $10 less, but at the same time, there's not really doing anything different from when it was free. So I don't know. Personally, I think they should get rid of Xbox Live being paid for, since you can play on PC anyway for free anyway if you have Windows 10. But hey, eventually I'll probably end up going to Windows 10 with a PC and won't have to worry about online anyway, but still get all the perks. So we'll see.
Steam sales.
There's only one game I picked up from the Steam sale this year.
PC thief. All right, are you done with your topic?
Yeah, I'm good.
All right. What about you, Gamer Nick? What do you think about Microsoft this generation?
I just answered you.
Xbox One.
Yeah, it's my turn.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I just did my thing.
Alright.
Somebody's tired.
Microsoft is, they're genius, man. They've been all in the news for having the best deals lately, and like I said a while ago, they're finna dominate. They're finna dominate the market. They're about to be the Walmart of gaming, and when that happens, I'm gonna be like, man, I don't know, I don't want to say I may convert, but it's gonna be tempting not to convert, man, because everything they're doing right now is just like, damn, I don't think they're ever gonna slip again the way they did with the Xbox One. Now Phil Spencer in charge, taking documents. Everyone's going to follow the example that Phil Spencer is leaving. Their legacy is about to build up now. From their trial and error, they're about to dominate. That's all I got to say.
All right. What about you, King Rams? What you think about Xbox, the Xbox brand as a whole this generation? Do you think Microsoft has really been pro-consumer?
Yeah, I think Microsoft has always been pretty much pro-consumer, in my personal opinion. I think one of their biggest problems has always just been being too honest. And I don't personally have a problem with it because I'm the type of person I would prefer you put everything you plan on doing out there on Front Street so I can know what to expect. And I think that's what a lot I think that's what's really bitten them in the ass in the past. Like when it comes to DRM, they didn't hold any cut cards like other companies. I'm not gonna say the name, but y'all know who I'm talking about.
Sure.
They don't hide things from the public. They'll just come out and tell you what it's gonna be, and you could either hate it or love it, and they'll work with you based on that. Whereas other companies will stay hush hush and wait for the backlash to hit another company, and then they'll try to act like they were going to do something completely different. So that's what I think their biggest problem has been this generation and most like the end of last generation is just saying what it's going to be like. And but other than that, I mean, I think they've always been, in my opinion, pretty much consumer friendly. I would like to see, even though it's not really a big problem, but Xbox Live become free like on PC because I don't think it's fair that they get the games for cheaper and free online. But other than that, I mean, it's always been a consumer-friendly company as far as the online servers and all of that stuff. I just wish they would come with more exclusives, personally.
Yeah, me too. Really, yeah. Well, ain't there a
Some more,
rumor about them having like 12 or 15 first-party games in development? Is that a rumor?
I'm not really sure as far as how many they have, but I mean, I wouldn't mind getting some release dates for a couple of those exclusives that we saw like 2 years ago. A solid release date on those. But I'm happy with them. As a company, the Xbox One, the console, I'm happy with that. But you already know, you saw my videos. You already know how I feel about this generation in general. I'm not really too pleased with this generation gaming wise, but the companies what they're trying to do, I could applaud Microsoft on that. They trying to change the negative image that they've had so far, and hopefully this next generation going forward they can just do a little bit better. That's pretty much it for me.
Oh, okay. What about you, Dirty? What you feel about Microsoft? You think they've been doing a lot of pro-consumer friendly deals with the Xbox gamers?
Yeah, they've been trying to do stuff, man, ever since day one, since the backlash. They've been doing stuff every year, since the Xbox been out. We got the backwards compatible, and you know what I'm saying. They trying to turn things around. You know what I'm saying, and they are doing it. So I mean, the only they doing more than Sony. I can tell you that. So hey, I know they want to be in number one spot again, and this is the way to do it. This is to show the people that talk negative about the Xbox One. It makes them see like, man, like they're really changing. Stuff that the fans saying that they want, that they don't want. They actually, doing it, applying it to the Xbox One. So, you know, I think they just doing a good job so far. You know.
Yeah, I think they're doing a hell of a job. I'm gonna still stick by my word. I know a lot of Sony guys, gonna say that Sony won E3. Yes, it was a hell of a E3, but the deal that I dock Sony is a lot of these games are still in development. Like 4 games is getting released within the 2 to 3 months from now. That was at Microsoft's E3. Of course, Scalebound's next year. I'm not. Who else? We don't know anything about Crackdown 3. That was announced last year, but I don't know when that's coming out. But we know 4 games guaranteed, 4 exclusives is coming out this year, pretty damn soon. And with Sony, I think there's only 1 exclusive. I'm not counting down indie games. It's just something about these Sony fanboys. They love when to count their indie games. The only game only game I know is The Last Guardian as a retail release. I don't know anything else on the Sony side. But of course, Sony they had more exclusives this year, earlier this year. But it's going to even out if you want to look at the exclusives, Xbox One versus the PS4. Overall in the year of 2016. But yes, both of they need more exclusives. They do. They do. Who else? Did I get to you, Hunter?
Oh no.
Yeah, give me your thoughts and your opinions about Microsoft being pro-consumer.
Oh, I mean, I think they've been doing a good job. They try to talk to their fan base. They're not hiding behind really nothing. They're actually listening instead of they're not a lot of stuff like this Play Anywhere and all this other stuff, and it's crazy how all the funk that they get, but Sony can't do no wrong in the media eyes. People I hear people complain about Xbox Live. I don't think I paid $60 for Xbox Live in the last two or 3 years. I'll take my ass on CD keys. Amazon be having it for $40. I think Amazon had it 2 weeks ago for $32.99.
Yeah.
Nice.
So I just people say they can play online with PC, but you don't have the same infrastructure. Like you on Windows 10, yes, I can talk to people in a group chat and everything, but then putting it all into the games, it don't automatically. It's not like I can tell the Xbox app to go play this game, or tell Cortana to go play this game, and this person on Xbox One. That stuff's not integrated yet. I don't know if it's going to be integrated yet. You can talk. You can play certain games crossplay like Killer Instinct. I like that, but you just can't tell you can't just tell the Xbox app to go load up Killer Instinct. You have to physically like you load up any other game. I like how they doing with their summer sale. Some people complain I already have all them games. It's a lot of games I haven't get to play. I've been spending money on games. I bought 4 games in a matter of 2 days because it was good deals. I don't have time. Sometimes I got games. I don't know why I buy them because I got games in my catalog that I still need to go back to play. But I like how they trying to do like Steam. They said they will allow their games in the Steam store. So they're trying to be consumer. They're trying to be. This is. We looking out for everybody, and I think Phil is doing the best job he can. He got handed a hand that the media thought. I didn't give a shit about the DRM. To tell you the truth, because we had DRM, we'd be able to trade games back, or give a game. I can give a game to every. If I want to give a game to someone, set a price and stuff like that. But people said no, it's supposed to be no DRM and all this other stuff. So a lot of people griped about it. They griped about the TV shit. I really didn't care about it. I was excited. I love it because I don't have to hit inputs no more. It's just one input. I can leave it and it streams from my TV. So I like, Microsoft is doing a good job, and is they going to get credit for it? No. The people, I know people saying about the, was that the Xbox Slim? Yeah, I'm getting it because I want to throw another Xbox in the house. I can throw the big one in the living room and the Slim in in my room. When the other one come out, I want to buy the other one. Do I gotta buy a 4K TV? Yeah, I'm in the process of doing that too. But PC gamers been doing it for years, so they upgrade. They upgrade every other year. every year.
I
Like
don't
video
understand why
cards
people
and stuff
complaining
like that.
about
So I don't see the
the
fuck with it.
you know the Xbox 4S that's coming out next month in August. I don't see why people are complaining about the Scorpios. Basically, they killed the Xbox One S because of Scorpio. No, that's not true. This thing, you can fucking watch, movies in 4K, man. Come on, like this gonna be the cheapest 4K machine. Well, a Blu-ray player that you could get. You get to play video games and watch movies in 4K. Like, come on, man. To me, they'll find everything in the book to fucking demonize this Xbox One Scorpio. And another thing. Oh, not Scorpio, the Xbox One S. But another thing, the Xbox Scorpio is coming out in another year, in December. So that gives everybody time to save up their money for the Xbox Scorpio. Like it's still a long way from now, So, and people they got to remember that the difference between the Scorpio and the Xbox One S is price point. Either you're gonna pay $600-700 for a basically a fucking PC console, basically, or you want to get a normal console experience and play and pay like $250-300, and plus you get to watch your movies in fucking 4K. So I'm pretty sure a lot of movie watchers go to want to get the Xbox X. Because of course they're gonna play some video games and plus, watch movies in 4K. So they get the best of both worlds, basically. So I just want to throw that out the window. People want to say that it's dead on arrival.
Well, people like to complain about a console or a company that isn't their favorite. That's just what people do. The same Sony fanboys who complaining about the Xbox S coming out a year before the other not Neo, the Scorpio. I think they forgot that the Super Slim came out just a year before the PS4. They don't really talk about that. It's all about like just like let me just complain about something that I don't like with another company. I think the Super Slim came out like in the end of 2012 or something like that, and the PS4 came out in 2013. So it's the same thing, but we don't talk about that because it's not Microsoft. So fanboys gonna always do that. They're gonna always find something to complain about when it's a company that they aren't really a fan of. At the end of the day, like Mr. 100, if you want it, get it. At the end of the day, you going to enjoy it. You spending your money. So if that's what you want, get it, man. Fuck the haters. That's how I feel about it. And then you go get your Scorpio and you have a good time with that. It is what it is.
Mm-hmm. Okay, is that everybody? I know Retro Bro, he had to leave because he got to go to work in the morning. Is that everybody got on this subject?
Yeah, we done. We good.
Yeah, okay, yeah, I'm going to end it. Usually I do questions, but I'm kind of tired. I'm kind of burnt out from that from that first topic, man. It kind of got touchy, man, but it was a good topic, man. It was a good show overall, man. I know, got a little troll in the comment section, but they don't, probably some of these people don't know what it's like to be a black man in America, man. I'm just being honest, man. I just had to, put my 2 cents in. I know y'all have to put y'all 2 cents in, and life is more than just playing video games. Whenever we're not playing video games, whenever we go to work, whenever we step foot in our car, or whenever we step foot outside, that means, we could get shot any given time when we step foot outside. So, that's why I say I wanted to bring up this matter because, majority of us, we are black in this podcast, and I feel your pain. I feel your pain, and it sucks. It sucks. But yes, I want to throw a little gaming topic in this. Honestly, I probably should have just did the podcast based on the recent events yesterday. Then come back and do a gaming topic because I kind of got burnt out. I honestly did not want to do the gaming talks, but I'm pretty sure some people they came here for video game talk. So it is what it is. I guess before we end this podcast, is there anybody doing something on their channels? Maybe that y'all want to bring up before we end it and advertise your channel.
My channel dead as hell now.
No, man. No, that's what I did. I made a video, man. Support, man. The video game community needs support. You know, the real people. Stop supporting that motherfucking drama shit. You know.
Yeah.
I know you get hits and all that other shit, but it get tiring, and you can talk about a motherfucker so much. You can expose them. You can do analytics on them. But at the end of the day, what the hell you doing? You're concentrating on that person. That's time you ain't gonna never get back.
I'm threatening to show my bare ass to the crumb side.
Oh, shit.
You know, the sad part about this, drama sells in this gaming community. It's kind of like how bad news sells, you know, in the mainstream media. It's always like that. It's sad but true, man. I really hate that. I really hate that. But is there anybody else got anything going on with their channels? Anybody? I guess not. But anyway, I guess we're gonna go ahead and close this podcast. This was a really good podcast. I really did enjoy talking with y'all guys, talking about the problems that problems that we are having in America in general, and you know, I did not know that it was gonna be some retaliations as we are live on air. Like it's getting bad to worse, man. I really hope that this shit calm down, man. I don't know what to say about this. It's a part of me won't you know, these guys get what's coming to them. You know, the people that actually deserve to get, you know, shot. But you know, I guess the other part of me, I just don't want nobody to get shot and killed. That goes for everybody, man. It's sad but true, man.
Yeah, because I'm gonna touch on this real quick and we can get up out of here. But I was just looking at the article and I think that's kind of it is sad because even though it's a lot of messed up cops out there, you know, the two cops that supposedly got killed tonight, they weren't the ones who killed those two gentlemen who died the other day. You know, if those cops were the ones who got killed, I wouldn't feel some type of way, you know. But you don't know the lives that those two cops lived that just died tonight. You know, and not to sound like I'm being, you know, passive or anything with it, but you know, I think that was kind of, you know, fucked up as well.
It is fucked up, man. Because like I said, it's more good cops than bad cops, but the bad cops outweigh the good cops. That's sad.
Well, bad ones getting more attention.
Yeah, they do.
Well, you know, that's with anything. Is you know, the bad going always outshine the good. I hate to say it, but that's just the way society works, especially with social media and stuff like that.
Yep, that is so true. But I guess so. Anyway, guys, I really appreciate y'all for joining the Real Talk with the Real Gamer podcast. It's a really good show, and King Ramsey, I really appreciate you for coming by. I don't mind having you back on the show, man.
Appreciate you having me, man.
Yeah, you're a cool guy, man. I have different people on this podcast every week. I don't mind inviting people back, man. So I guess let's go ahead and do an outros, and I'll get up out of here. Let's go start with you, Mr. Gamer.
This is Nick from Gamertag Incorporated. Thanks for having me here. It was an interesting show, and I'll see you guys next time.
I appreciate you, man. All right, let's go with you, Jay.
What's up, everybody? Shit, this is the Protagonist Gamer. Thank you for the podcast, Real Gamer 27, and hopefully everything will be smooth so where we can podcast again next week. Who knows what can happen?
Yeah, I know, man. I really hope we ain't got to touch on this again, but you never know. Appreciate you, man. All right, let's go with you, King Ramsey.
Yeah, I just want to thank you for allowing me to be a part of this podcast. Appreciate everybody who came out and watched. It was nice meeting all the fellas here in the podcast tonight. Until next time, Mr. Man, the Superman, the C4. And I'll chat with y'all later.
I appreciate you, buddy. All right, let's go with you, Dirty.
Yo, what's up, YouTube? This is your boy, Dirty. I want to thank Real Gamer for inviting me on this podcast. And we out of here because I got to go to work.
I know, that's what I'm trying to get out here, too. All right, last but not least, is going to go to you, Mr. Hunter.
What's up, you guys? This is your boy 100 from Intro Media Gaming. You know what I'm saying? Appreciate you. You know what I'm saying? I always enjoy my time on here. And I always tell people to come check you out even when I'm not on.
Yeah, man, I really do appreciate that. I really do appreciate that, man. Hopefully next week we can get strictly back on gaming topics without us bringing up this kind of stuff, man. But it is what it is, man. I really appreciate you for joining us. Hey, did you say something?
Oh no, I was talking about it's time for me to go download Red Dead.
Oh, okay. All right, I guess everybody, we are out of this piece, and like I say, man, next week, same time, 7:30 Central Time, I will be doing my next Real Talk with the Real Gamer podcast, and we will see y'all later. Peace out.